Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly, your friendly Void Master today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign, playing Fantasy Flight Games' outstanding Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40K RPG. This is also... it's only a week off until we get a brand new Warhammer 40K RPG too, so it's a pretty exciting time to be a fan of the 41st millennium, I guess. And with me tonight, we are playing through, playing through the Into the Maw campaign or adventure that is at the back of the book, as is often the case with us. So we've taken a 10-page thing and stretched it out into 10 sessions. But with me tonight, join me on this lackadaisical smelling the roses trip through the Corona's expanse are the stars of our Into the Maw campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen. Why don't we tell us who you are and who you're playing tonight? First up, we've got Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Alessander. He is the ship's Void Master and sometimes Cactus Eater.
Yep, he definitely has a penchant for that. Next up is our resident captain, Sean.
Quinilia Quade, the scion of the infamous Rogue Trader family, at your service.
Nice. And last, but certainly not least, joining us on his birthday is James.
Hello, I'm James, and I'm playing Regius Benetech, the black-eyed, Xenos-obsessed navigator.
Very nice. So, guys, before we get into our full thing, with the game proper, I mentioned this to the guys. I want to quickly mention again that, so we mentioned our session on Wednesday about this, but we're going to be doing, coming up it's not a charity session, but it's a fundraising session to benefit Owen K. Stevens. Owen K. Stevens is a prolific creator of RPGs who has been dealt a pretty unfortunate hand of health right now. In addition to struggling with a bunch of health issues before, he has recently been diagnosed with cancer. And if you don't know Owen, from his many RPG credits like D&D and Pathfinder and Star Wars and D20 Modern and Starfinder, he was one of the lead developers on that. Then you may know him from holding court, as it were, and offering advice to other would-be designers at various conventions like Gen Con. Owen was most recently the line developer for the fantasy line of Fantasy Age over at Green Ronin, before his health kind of forced him to focus on otherwise, but he's also a prolific creator. And he posts many of those things on his Patreon. Now, we're going to be fundraising for him as well, but what Owen has said is that one of the ways you can help him with the costs associated with treatment and the costs associated with just living with cancer and going through treatment without the much of a safety net. There's links in the description of this video to his Ko-fi, where you can give direct donations for one at a time or whatever, or recurring. And he has his Patreon. He also has, I haven't linked it down there, but he also has a publishing imprint called Rogue Genius Games, and you can find a bunch of the stuff through Drive-Thru RPG. There's a bundle that's making the rounds right now as well for a bunch of Pathfinder 2 products. Any of that stuff, if you are in a position to help him, that's all that stuff can benefit him. Again, we'll have more information about our special one-shot to fundraise for Owen a little later, but I think the sooner that he starts seeing some assistance to having that at least one less thing to worry about before really commencing treatment, I think is probably going to be helpful. So if you are in a position to assist a member of our community, we don't have in the gaming industry, there isn't really the kind of even like the industry created safety net the way there is in comics. Comics somehow got their shit together, and there is a support, I can't remember what the name of the organization is, but there's an organization that for creators who have fallen on hard times or find themselves in need or whatnot, they are able to assist them financially. We don't have something like that in the games industry, and we've said goodbye to far too many really influential game designers in the past couple of years. When we have a member of our community who is not doing well and we can help him when he's with us, I think that's the a worthy way of supporting someone who's given so much to our hobby. So anyway, if you are interested in assisting or spreading the word about Owen, like the more people who know about the ways that we can help him, the better. So feel free to share those links down below with anyone that you feel may have been affected or know of his many incredible works in our hobby. So with that, let's now turn our mind to the 41st millennium. So guys, last session, let me see here. We had, I believe there were some orcs, and there were some orcs, and what else was there, guys? Was it, oh yeah, more orcs. Yeah.
Not on James's birthday. Come on.
That was last time.
Oh, okay.
What happened last time, guys?
Well, I thought we were going to die.
It was something that crossed my mind as well.
We picked up where we left off on the combat of against maybe, I'm going to say 6 orcs, maybe 7.
Yeah, I think maybe even more than that.
With cliffs, sort of. That's not the perfect word, but canyon type terrain.
On Magoros Prime.
Yes, Gross Prime, and there was a flamer. There's probably a better word for that, isn't there?
No, that's exactly it.
Oh, good.
I mean, the orcs might call it, the thing what bone you.
Right. And then did all of our crew went down, right? All of our faithful did all
meat shields?
Yeah.
They all went down.
Faithful meat shields.
They all went down.
Yeah.
And then
I'm looking at those red bars of you guys, and it looks like you may not have had an easy run of it either. As a reminder, as well, you can spend your fate points to recover wounds.
Which is very nice.
I'd look it up, but I mean, it's on your character sheet as well. Because as we know, these character sheets are awesome.
On that little eye, the character sheet eye is just one by the fate. That's very good.
Yeah. So you can remove 1d5 of damage.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
And we finished in our own, we just arrived at our cutter, right?
Yeah. Yes, you just arrived at your cutter and you were heading back up, wasting no time getting some hit points back. Oof.
And we already tried a little first aid, right?
First aid has been applied by your crew members who you left behind. Yeah, okay. And then it was your, let's see here, I got the gun cutter right here. That was just heading back up into orbit. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So.
Yes.
With you guys returning to the Mortis Probati, drifting in orbit above the Magoros Prime, you can see the pulsing of that star, or flickering of that pulsing star in the background. There's small little flashes of electricity, as the power running through your ship fluctuates a bit, but I believe, Alessandro, you took the lead on getting this thing off, right?
Yeah,
I
believe that's right.
So then, it's probably an hour or two until you reach back aboard the Mortis Probati, just because going from surface to orbit, I imagine, takes a little bit of time, and you're not necessarily unless the Mortis Probati was intending on staying in geosynchronous orbit above, it may be, orbiting around the planet. Mm-hmm. But what are our crew members thinking at this point? What's going through everyone's mind? Having I guess for one thing, encountered that strange Xenos structure down on the planet, and then also facing waves of orcs and seeing near tragedy befall you.
Well, we didn't clearly make it we didn't. I don't feel like we made it very far. So that's a thing to consider. Remind me, Kevin, where we think we're going. Let's see, geographically on this planet, we have a target, right? We have a
this system.
No.
Nope. I'll let the guys fill in. Go ahead.
Yeah, because now we want to get out to the ice asteroid belt and where we think the treasure ship is, or where I've seen the treasure ship to be. Right.
Yeah, the significant in the scheme or in the broad scheme of things, what you guys are pursuing is the what's the name of the ship here?
The
Righteous Path.
Yes.
The Righteous Path was a treasure ship, you may remember, that was plundered when an early crusade came in through the Cronus Expanse, and then it seemingly went missing. You guys had been following a psychic beacon that led you to this system, and after arriving in the system, you guys were going around trying to figure out how best to find the Righteous Path. And what you found on the planet, Regis, was at the very, how would you describe it?
Yeah, it was this amazing Xenos tech that allowed me to see to the past and the future and all around. I could just move around the galaxy with my mind. And with that, I could see, all that had happened in the past and what the aliens' culture was like. But I could also see this righteous path. And I could see where it had headed to last time. And it had headed out to the asteroid belt. And I had this vision of where it was. And then you guys dragged me away from this amazing scene of Xenos wonder for terrible worldly needs.
Like escaping with our lives.
Yeah. You don't understand the wonders of the warp and
So we have a target then. Excellent.
Regis, if you're looking for secrets, I might know a keeper who could help you with that.
Ooh. Oh, well, in that case, I do like a good secret. Good Xenos secret. Keep it from the rest of the filthy infidels.
Absolutely. All right. So, Captain, we know where Alessander is at the stick, as it were, flying the gun cutter back up out of the atmosphere and then back towards the Righteous Path. What are we seeing with Regis and with Captain Aquade?
Well, I think Captain Aquari is inquiring about what Sean was inquiring about. So he's, there's probably this big, one of those very impressive, good for movie shots too. Where that big map, the huge, you have to walk around it. Everyone likes those.
You're going to need to get that back because you're on the gun cutter right now. Remember, this thing is like, yeah. Good
call. Well, I'm thinking about it though.
Oh, so definitely.
When I get back to this,
yeah. You could be sitting there, a finger steepled, your mind map, as it were.
I will be doing laps around that huge map with Regius pointing out the proper areas. But in the meantime, I might be if everything's going smooth with Alessander and our departure, I might be doing a little bit of captain work with the crew as far as the fallen, recounting their bravery a little bit, and just what we went up against, and starting the stories that will spread like a viral sickness throughout the ship of our our steadfast family, new accomplishments.
So, your what do you call it? Your ship is now sponsored by Princess Tours, or
you got to, I'm a fresh scion. I need my own stories. I mean, you got to get this thing started. And fallen crew members, though regrettable, are part of the lore.
That's true.
And what about Regis? What is Regis doing on the trip back to the Mortis Probati?
I guess I'll be. Yeah, I think I'll still be thinking back to this alien tech that I'd come across. I mean, it would, apart from us just doing the recap, that must be a tremendous event.
Oh, most definitely,
in his life. So he'll be pondering on that, and good grief, what has he seen? Finally, something.
Well, I also imagine that there are so many ways that, as a psychic in general, but also specifically as a navigator, you have senses that go so far beyond what average people have that, like, when you talk about that, by comparison, we talk about with non-psychics. By comparison, it seems like you have so many extra senses and you can see so much more. This may have been the one time you've had that experience that normal folk do when they talk to you, where you suddenly were like, oh, there's so much more you could be seeing across space and time that you would never be capable of yourself.
Yep. A profound thing.
Okay. So with a relatively quiet crew, apart from Captain Aquare's motivational eulogizing, the ship or the gun cutter will come back aboard the Mortis Probati, and a short 20 minutes or so later, you guys will find yourself back on the bridge. So.
Feels so good to be home.
Indeed.
I'm gonna need so many cactuses, I tell you. So then, what is the plan, guys? I'm just checking here for
Regius to the map room.
Now let's talk about healing. So apart from spending your points, I believe that some of you were injured enough to be healing like your damage points in weeks as opposed to days. Does that sound right?
It's half.
I think it's below half. Let's look it up again. Double check here. I read some.
I'm definitely quite injured.
Yeah. Okay. So removing damage. Ooh, sudden death. I like that. Let's see. Healing. All right. So heavily damaged when you take more than twice your toughness bonus. Heavily damaged character removes 1 damage per week through natural healing. Now that you're back aboard the ship, though, I imagine you can try and get more serious medical attention. Let's take a look at the Medicate skill. 3.
Here's a question for you: if I bought Sound Constitution, would that?
Yeah. Did you buy it or?
I bought it this last time.
Oh yeah.
I bought it.
Click on it. Let's see what it says.
Let's see.
Let's see what it says.
All right. Hang on a second.
You gain an additional wound, so you would gain that until you both gain like your capacity and you gain your point back. Yeah, so you got 1 more wound.
Nice.
So,
I'm still seriously injured, but
yeah.
Doesn't change anything.
Yeah, but it wouldn't. No, like the damage would still be the equivalent. Whatever you got in damage is just subtracted from your new total of what your wounds would be.
Yeah.
All right, so the Medicaid. Extended care. Here we go. Fortunately, you guys got the Rogue Trader insurance plan, so you sign up for the extended care. It's pretty good. Let's see.
That's part of that Aquari package.
Absolutely, yeah. But these Medicaid, they are in your circle, right, or whatever it's called. Your plan.
Of course, in plan. They're very in plan.
Okay, good. All right. So the Explorer can treat a number of patients equal to their intelligence bonus, and they can make a test at the end of each week. Which allows you to recover twice as much as ooh. Yeah, so at the end of the week, you will be able to be treated. For those of you who are heavily injured, I don't think Regis. I don't think you dipped down so low that you were seriously wounded, though, right? You were only moderately, lightly.
Oh no, I was originally. I was out, right?
Oh yes, right. Yeah. So you're pretty. Yeah, you guys are all pretty banged up. So that is a state you find yourselves in. You're all kind of limping, and you're all, feeling the effects of this. There's not like a, cure light, wounds situation that can help here right now, unfortunately. So then, as you get your command crew together, what are you... Oh, you know what? I'm also gone. I realized that when Dave had not selected a character before, or was selecting his character, I made 2 characters for him.
That's right.
Yeah, he selected Godwin, so we actually have your armsman. Right. No, not armsman. What is he called? Godwin. The Arc Militant. Here we go. So here is your spooky soldier guy. I think that probably you can assume that from your crew. It was someone who was sort of working in the, a support capacity before, but this will be a companion style character now, so you guys will have someone else to suck up bullets, and also someone who is filling a role that none of the party are doing. The important question I have for you guys, though, is what is this character's name?
Let's see.
That's a good question.
Come on. Oh, my goodness. 20.
I mean, personally, I always like to roll randomly for names, so that would be my vote. But
Okay, let me... Oh, I think I've got a table.
unless someone has an idea.
Just give me a sec. I think at the start of the book there is a list of... Or a table you can go to. I'm just getting this token set up. All right, here. Ah. Huh? Okay.
I will throw that one out there for our...
This is Thasavus Zoil.
Yes.
Guys? That decided?
Yeah, I like
Yep,
it.
that'll work.
Okay. All right. Then, let me cut and paste his name as well. There we go. And we update his token. Boom, that's done. And we'll put his name on there. So, let's put him up here. There we go. And I'll put his name in his character sheet. Here we go. We do not have a name for him yet, but you can also assume that you have a, whatever it's called, Explorator, the tech priest.
Well, I've got a name for him already.
Oh, yeah, what's his Explorator's name?
Octus or Castor.
Oh, if you put it in chat, maybe I'll...
I think he did.
Is there?
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Okay. Here, we'll put him over here. I don't have a character sheet for him yet, but...
But he exists.
He exists. Yeah. All right, and we have a name for him now. Let's see. Octus. Oh, Castor. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. There we go. So you have access to those two. And give me 2 seconds here. I wonder if I've got it in here. I need to grab a book. Somewhere, I'm sure will not mind having a drink on a Friday night if I have to grab another book. So let's see here. Okay, it's not in there. And here we are. And Not in there either. What was I reading recently that had that stuff? I think it was a Savage World product, which is in the other room. So, let's do this. Guys. There we go. All right, so nope, that is not at all what I'm looking for. Unless it's at the back here. Unless it's at the back, guys. Perhaps it's at the back. It is. I think. Yes, here we go. All right. Would you each give us a D20 roll, please? Okay.
Now we learn what both extremes mean.
Okay. Okay. As helpful as I was hoping. All right, then. And all right, so Octus and Thasavus, is that right? Thasavus, yeah. Are sort of waiting for you in there, and when you come in, I think Thasavus would likely step, kind of forward, seeing the obvious signs of of a scrap that you've been in. Where do you think you're having this meeting? Is there like a captain's ready room or something like that you have, perhaps, or like a captain's study?
Yeah, yeah. He's got to have some spot off the bridge, I would think, for his own for meetings.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if that's where you keep like your replacement. Someone, one of the stewards on board will have to take care of fixing your other jacket, but the one that you wore on the planet likely needs to get replaced. So perhaps you walking over to the wardrobe and replacing what you've, what was torn up.
Yeah, before anything, the tailor. I call for the tailor.
Yeah,
get that fixed.
And I think you hit before you turn to get there, you hit this button on the big table in the middle, and this ancient lacquered table that has somehow been brought onto this cursed vessel moves and slides aside, revealing this incredibly advanced, hollow display type thing inside that then completely out of place with the otherwise kind of, Baroque accoutrements and all the gewgaws that were collected by yourself or your family over the course of your travels. This comes out and gives you a view of the system, the Magaro system that you are in. Thasavus says so perhaps it was not wise to leave me behind then, Captain.
Well, we've learned things, Thasavus. We're on track. Unfortunately, it cost the ship some of its fine, loyal crew, but we fought through it. Their names will be remembered. We must press on. Regius has a new target for us.
Octus steps forward and says,
if one has a way of knowing, a way of learning, it's best to follow that path then, no?
Thasavus looks over at him, looks back at you. He's saying you learned the hard way, Captain.
Well, I wasn't aware of the easy way at the time. Still not certain of it now, so yes. We press on, and if improvements can be made, I'm all ears.
Have we located the righteous path, Captain.
And I maybe I call into some whatever it looks like, a cone. Is it? You think it's a cone? Communication.
Like the Titanic. Stoke the boilers.
I
think it's whatever you want. Like it strikes me, this is like a lot of the games we play. This is an '80s future, so
Yeah. I'll grab a cone that's crusty with jewels, and say, "Regius, to the ready room, Captain's ready room."
I'm assuming he was he accompanied you there.
He could be there. I'm still there. I'm just doing it. And,
Yeah.
there you are.
He's getting senile.
Quite fast.
Yeah.
And
He
then
did take a heck of a blow to the head, so there.
Yeah.
This is perhaps understandable.
Then I turn to Octus and say, "Tell him, Regius. Tell him what you have viewed, what you've seen, what you saw."
Yep. So then I will wax lyrical on my until everybody's like tired of it.
Okay. Yeah, it's. I think. Well, why don't you give us this? Give us a.
Like it takes him like 10 minutes just to even get to the point.
Oh yeah, like, imagine he starts talking about like getting distracted and talking about what he saw down there.
Well, I'm talking about what I saw of the Xenos.
Exactly.
Never mind the treasure ship.
Yeah.
And never mind the hundreds of orcs.
Why don't you give us an awareness check, Regius?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a long route that perhaps finally Captain Aquare's clearing of throat or adjusting of cross one, he's got a leg crossed against one, and then he crosses it over to the other and stomps his boots as he's doing so. After 15 minutes of hearing about this Xenos civilization that you saw, and then once brought back on topic, what do you tell them?
So then I say, but of course you want to know about the righteous path, and yes, I saw it as well. It was less of interest, but yes, and I saw it going out towards the asteroid belt, and in fact, I think
The
I will know
Shard
where it
Halo.
is.
Says Octus.
Indeed, the Shard Halo, and I think I can recall where it was.
You can see even in spite of his
Captain, I can
cybernetic
see.
eyes, his eyebrows for Thassavis go up. He says, in the billions of kilometers that make up that halo, you can point to where this treasure ship is?
Indeed, not everything of the Mechanicus solves everything. Sometimes the mysteries of the warp can be.
It was Thassavis who was talking to you, but
Right, yeah.
Octus, you can hear the chittering of his, what is it, the servo arm thing. I can't remember what it's called. There is a word for that, isn't there? It's actually on, I can look it up quickly because it's on.
He talks binary, right?
He would when he's not talking to you guys. It is the. So there's an actual name for it. I just don't remember what it is. That's that cool third arm thing, which seems outrageously unhelpful. There we go. Conductors. Yeah, his body's all made of stuff. What is that thing called? Mechadendrite.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was driving me nuts once I had it in my head. So he has that, and I think you just can see the mechadendrite is sort of like almost like rearing up and kind of towards you as if it's unconsciously reacting to the insult. He himself, this small mechanized man, is not reacting whatsoever, but the mechadendrite has, I guess, a bad poker face.
Reflects his emotions.
Yeah. So Thasivus says, have we a plan then, Captain?
Well, probably make for it with all haste, since we are not the only contestant in this contest.
Indeed, in your absence, we have been scrying the Auspex sensors and have yet to have any sign of any other down here. I fear that the interference that you encountered of the planet extends throughout from that pulsar star and out across the system as a whole. It means if the fell hand is out there, we may not see it. But with luck, it means it will not see us either.
But clearly they are here.
I mean, it looks... what makes you think that?
Well, there are definitely some other humans down there who are fighting the orcs at the beginning.
True.
So I find it hard to believe it is not Fell's men that we encountered, even if we didn't see them.
Reasonable to believe.
Then if the fell hand is here, Captain, what do you wish to do?
Well, hopefully they are bogged down on the surface. We don't currently have a line on where their ship might be. I'm not sure there's a better course than just to head towards our target. Anyone else have any thoughts?
I'd agree, Captain.
I think we should get moving. If we have any lead, then we should, extend it. And if we are behind, then of course we must make haste. Either way, speed seems to be our ally here.
Octus says,
And if they see us moving there, will they not follow?
Then we will need to be careful with our in watching that we're not followed. But yes, I'm not sure what the other alternative would go hunting for them, but I'm not sure we're set for that. Mortis Probatis, while a wonderful ship, isn't really anything like one of the Imperial's Dauntlesses.
Thasivus says, I inquired discreetly when we were at Footfall on the capabilities of the fell hand. And as is with any wise captain, it seems he is keeping the true capabilities to himself. The rumors are it has impressive armaments.
I mean, I don't know if it would be beneficial to take a long way. I mean, the other option, I suppose, from your comment, Octus, is to take a long way there to try to leave someone the impression that we went a different direction, but it will delay our arrival at our eventual destination. Think that's possible to lead to? Does it seem possible to take a different route to lead them to believe something else? Think that's worth it?
You can see that you've served with Octus long enough to know when that mechadendrite is twitching away, he may have an idea, but may not be wishing to tell you.
Go on, Octus. Go on.
Well, the captain, I have not formulated a 3, 2, 5, 4, 6, 5 each. I have not fully formulated a plan, schematic, a drawings for it. But recall the drones, the weaponry deployed against us in the temple, the pirates.
Yes.
They sent what appeared to be false vessels to us, no? We could not tell. What if, not knowing which of us it is. We created something similar.
Thasivus says decoys.
Yes. We could create decoys and send them out.
What do we have, Kevin? What would the captain know? What do we have? We have stuff that looks like a ship, that could be a ship.
So what you may remember is that you did see when you guys you didn't detect them as weapons until they got fairly close to you guys. What he's suggesting is sending out things. They will not survive close inspection, but if you suddenly have a bunch of signals you need to chase down and figure out whether it's you or not across the system, that may at least give them more work to do before they actually find you, if they're here and if they're looking for you.
And how many of these do we have?
None as of yet, Captain.
I see.
And the other thing we can do is, Captain, I know where the ship is, but we don't. While we won't deceive them if they detect us that we're going to the belt, we can go to another part of the belt and then work our way back to the right location, so that they can't just follow our path directly. So let's get out to a different part of the belt and then work our way through the belt once we get there. That might mask our precise intentions. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, Octus, how long do you think it would take to create these decoys?
He's twitching away.
A day, I believe, Captain. I nearly have it formulated.
I suppose it seems likely that the way that Regius came across this information is unlikely to be replicated with our foe, and that we'd be the only ones to know the location. So I suppose it's worthwhile. Why don't... All right, Octus, why don't you get busy on that? And Regius, let's choose...
Regius, that's the first time that possibility has been brought up to you. And I think for a brief moment you remember that strange connection you had through the Mecha Familiar back on, what do you call it? The station.
Yep. The other psychic working for Phil might use it if he gets there.
Port Wander.
There is that risk.
What might he use, Regius?
The same technology?
Yes, the alien tech that I've used.
So it's not... They could replicate, Captain,
It's possible.
the information we have. It's not impossible.
He appeared to be a strong psychic. So he may have been able to make a bond as well.
Thasivus says,
although I recall it was not easy.
And there may be other ways. This Xenos, and he says it like he's got something bad tasting in his mouth, device that you used. We think this is the only way to find the ship?
Possibly not, but it seems pretty well hidden otherwise.
Then,
if you don't know where to look, then that's a lot of space to cover.
Our options then, Captain, or your options then, are to adopt Octus's plan to fabricate decoys, or to proceed to the, or at the same time, or perhaps before, proceed to the Shard Halo, and then proceed along till we reach the location that Regis has seen. Or we wait and see if they come. But the Auspex sensors, They seem troubled. This system is full of anomalies, blind spots. It's like trying to view something on a monitor with dead spots. What do you think, Captain?
How long will it take us, Alexander, to get to the Halo?
Let's check you for travel in system. I think as you're not warping, it does take a little bit more time.
Because what I'm thinking is, what if we went to some relatively random spot in the Halo, taking the time to get there for Octus to create these decoys and then deployed them there, thereby using our time wisely.
Right, not just sitting here for the day.
Right.
Right.
Does that not give them the idea to go to the Halo?
It does. The con of that is, the downside is that it does give them the halo that we're not wearing the
Fassila
halo.
says it's billions of kilometers. It would be trying to find a single grain of sand on the beaches of 6 worlds.
Seems like it'd be worthwhile to save the time, create them on the way.
Very good, Captain.
Okay, so I'm just trying to see. Do you guys remember seeing anything about in-system travel?
Not that I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. One of those things you get spoiled by with Traveler. Like they've thought through all those things, and it's clearly easy to see what what kind of sci-fi we're dealing with there.
Space travel outside combat 226. Let's see.
It was 226.
I'm not sure if that's space travel outside combat.
Oh, here we go.
Know if
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Warp or...
So let's see here. In the end, travel time should be left up to the GM. Thank you, game.
You just need to do some mechadendrite waving.
Okay, so an Imperial starship can generally travel from the distance between like a planet like Holy Terra and its moon in a little more than an hour, while the same starship could take 2 weeks to travel between the same planet and its star. So it's not far off from like Traveler or BattleTech or something like that. Again, 80s sci-fi.
Yeah.
So I think then to travel, because you're basically traveling from the largest system here, or the largest planet out to the outer reaches of the thing, and you have ignored Megoros Secundus, that frozen jungle world. I know that as Alessandro was particularly excited to go there.
Oh, yes, very excited.
Indeed.
Okay. So let's say it's going to be a 2-week travel.
Oh, yeah. So if we just start heading in the general direction, I mean, and if it's a 2-week journey along that, that way, I don't know that it's going to give them that much information.
I think you could try and like do a little hiccup in the warp to do that, but that's going to be a pretty challenging task to
Short
do.
flight, right?
Yeah, and most recently, and it would be, I mean, whether the anomalies coming from that star extend into the warp as well, or the presence of that device that's down on the planet, or a combination of the two. I mean, God forbid that planet be the reason that the star is causing all this instability. So, what do you guys think? Take the 2 weeks? I'm going to say 3, actually, just because it was 2 weeks from Earth to the sun. Going to the outer reaches of a system's got to be longer than that.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So, what do you guys think? Do you send the things out now Do you wait, build them, and then send them out? What does mean you'll be able to get medical care for the trip out there.
Feels like the best choice is to use our time, head out there, and build them on the way. What does everyone think?
But they only take a day, right?
They only take a day to build, but when do you deploy them?
Exactly. So we could deploy them right near the start. So I think that's the question. And I would think we'd deploy them early to in the hopes that it makes them think that we're still around the planet.
Okay.
All right.
So why don't we do this? Let's have, and he'll take extra time for it. I think there's going to be let's say a 70% chance with Octus. So would someone like to give us a percentile roll, please?
Who's feeling lucky today?
All right. Get in there.
Octus would have 3 fate points as well.
All right, here we go.
Come on. There you go. All right, so that would be 3 degrees of success, right? No, 2 degrees of success. So, yeah, it's 2.1.
It's 3, isn't it? It's you subtract the 10s from the...
I thought that you took the number because
it?
it's 21 underneath. Like he beat it by 21 for 70.
Okay.
That would be 2.1 degrees of success.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's different, and they do it differently in this one than a ton of the like Zweihander or Blackbirds.
Yeah.
Different everyone. And I mean, I think those two actually do them different ways as well, whether it's subtracting or rolling over. So what that tells us is I think he's got 2 of them done in the first week's time, and 2 of them functional. He did have to, like, the thing with the what do you call it, the explorators too, while they do seem quite capable and you know, crafty and whatnot too, remember that this is a setting where technology for the most part has stagnated, and there's that bizarre religious association with it too. So there's a concept of heretical technology, meaning that you can't be too creative in the stuff you come up with. It's more a matter of trying to get existing shit working together. And what he might do is actually use, if you go, did you take them, did you bring the bodies with you, or did you leave them on the planet?
Of our fallen men?
Yeah.
I don't know, what's the ship's policy, Captain?
I think we would have had to have left them, right? Because, you know, you guys were pretty banged up on the run.
Fleeing for our lives, yeah.
Okay. The reason I ask is because that's fodder for making servitors. You can't have computers on the planet, but you certainly can make biological computers, and dead bodies are super helpful for that.
I'm just thinking we wouldn't have used a good servant like that.
Oh, they would have the honor of serving a house Aquare in another, you know, meaningful way. So that certainly would be honoring the servant, not debasing them in any way.
People beg for that task. Beg.
So there are, I think, there are other servitors on the planet. He will kind of like wire into these 2 things. And where do you have any plan for where you want to send these? Are they just going to just drift in space, you think, or are they going to be directed towards a certain destination? You can figure that when they are completed is around a third of the distance, but to where you're going to be going to.
And we're thinking how many will one day produce, Kevin?
He, with the materials he's got available, I think he's only been able to craft 2. But they are going to be, and like the amount of technology that, and like scrap, and not scrap, but like things that would go into this to make a convincing or a semi-convincing transponder for this. This is a huge accomplishment for, you know, these are guys who normally they need to have some kind of template to work from to fabricate anything. And this is in and amongst while he's doing all his religious rituals over the thing and, you know, praying to the machine god. It's a very impressive accomplishment that he's got so far. So do you send the things, say, back to the planet you were on, to off to one of the other planets you have yet to go to, different spots in the Shard Halo, or somewhere else?
Probably I'm thinking other locations, and if there's two other reasonable places we could go, I think that's a good, splitting them between 3 different reasonable locations, so 2 decoys and the real one, gives them the most food for thought, Captain.
Could one go to Megaros Secundus?
Definitely.
Probably Secundus, no? And
I like that.
and we're on Minor, right? This is Megaros Minor.
No, you left Megaros, what was it? Majoros, I think. What was it? It was called Megaros Prime. Megaros Prime is where you found the orcs. Megaros Minor is the closest to the flickering eye, the star at the center. But that is a tiny cinder of a world. You could like safely set down on it, but it's gonna be. I don't think it has an atmosphere, and I think it's quite hot. But I mean, Megaros Secundus is equally unpleasant. So if you sent those two off in those directions, that might look like you're heading off there to either of those 2 planets.
Yes. What do you think? Those seem to be the obvious. Secundus, Minor, and then we go to the Halo.
Yep.
Are these? Yeah.
Yes, Captain.
Okay.
Agreed.
Now let's see.
What do you think, Octus? It was your idea.
I merely offered the tools, Captain.
And I think I whack his what is it called again? His
Mechadendrite.
I think like you'd whack someone on the back. I like give his Mechadendrite a good whack. Ha ha! Very good.
Oh, yeah. Always eager to serve, Captain.
Excellent.
And he's got, I imagine he's also got like 2 or 3 little floating skull servitors around him too that he's constantly talking to in binary.
Those are awesome. I forgot about those.
Yeah. I tell you, anytime I need to go looking for art assets for a session, it's always like, oh man, there's so much fucking great stuff I need to incorporate in this. Holy smokes! I still can't. I don't think I'm going to be telling or spoiling anything. I suppose when we get a chance to finally play Deathwatch, for fucking sure you're going to a Space Hulk, because not only because I fucking love Space Hulks in general. And I've been playing the video game fairly recently. They've got a recreation of the board game in a video game format, which is fucking great. But there's also an amazing supplement for Deathwatch that allows you to randomly generate stuff and to navigate around the thing. Oh, it's so good.
Oh.
Yeah. Not saying that I was looking at a bunch of assets for Space Hulks, mind you, but
Revelations.
What I was checking for is to see what I'm looking at this before in combat. The augury. I keep seeing auspex sensors. The augury arrays. Auspex. Fucking too much Vampire the Masquerade thinking. All right, so the focus augury is a scrutiny plus detection test. So the detection on your vessel is what? That's the thing that gives you the bonus for your sensors.
Detection is 10.
Nice. So you get plus 10. Who is feeling good about their scrutinize? While you're answering, oh, you know what? Do you guys have access to Thassavus's character sheet? You should, I think. Thassavus Soil, I think I had it still set to all of you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great. What I was going to ask is if one of you could check whether he is trained in it or not.
He is.
He is, okay.
He is not. He is dismal at scrutiny.
He is not.
Scrutiny.
Okay.
And I can say he is dismal because he's worse than me.
Let's see.
I am one better than Thassavis.
I don't. That's
Yeah.
weird. On his character sheet, I see nothing.
Octus is not going to be. No.
Well, in that case, it could be me then, because in the land of the blind, the three-eyed man is king.
Dude.
How long have you
Yeah.
been sitting on that? 7 sessions in, 8 sessions in?
Right.
Would you give us then a... now, unfortunately, because of the interference here, normally it's a challenging test, so with no modifiers, I'm going to give you a -10 to this. So go. So let's see here.
Well, don't hold your breath, boys.
Is this how sneaky we are? Or sneaky how we
Scrutinize.
are?
This is the sensors. Okay.
Oh
you go.
no!
Well, with a 14% chance, this is never going well.
Yeah.
You know the crew has a 30, right?
I have a 32.
The crew has a 30.
Oh!
And you get +10 because of the detection of the sensors. The -10 would just be canceled out, and you'd roll a natural scrutiny.
Oh, well, still.
I mean, that's
okay.
that's not a great roll either.
Now,
but-
is there any chance that Alessandra might just brush me aside for my incompetence?
Oh, let's also talk about, well, let's do this. Let's talk about assisting, because remember that assisting just, I believe, bumps up the difficulty. There's no other, like, rolling or something like that separately. Just someone else modifies the difficulty. Now, what that would mean is that your efforts at scanning would still be not a great success, because, I mean...
Not helpful.
Not a great success.
But, if you had someone else take a crack at it, maybe next week, why don't we do that? Because what we're going to do now is we're going to deal with your doctor. We're going to see what kind of recovery that you guys have made under the supervision of your medicus.
And I don't know if my leadership, I don't know if there's any chance that would play into the, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if in that context.
Yes. So that would give another one. So it's still a fail. Well, hold on, let's hear 2. It's a fail, but not by much, though. With everyone working together, basically it would be a +20 to whoever's scrutinized that you're going with, which might be a 50% with the crew. Because I believe they got a 30% skill, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, mine's 32.
You're 32, so there you go. Alessandra's even better, so it'd be 52 with Alessandra.
Yep.
So next time it's going to be Alessandra?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Then, let's see here. James, why don't you give us... Actually, why don't you each give us a percentile roll, because you're all banged up right now. Let's see how the doctors have treated each of you. Okay, success. Regis, that is not great. But what that means is simply that in the first week of travel, that you are Regis healing 1, Alessandra and Captain Aquare are each healing 2. You're responding to treatment better than what Regis is. But you may be, they're more badly injured as well, too, so perhaps that's it's not a bad thing.
Excellent.
So, then...
Feels good.
So that
Healing ointments are working. The
Yes.
Emperor's blessings upon us.
You want to tell us about what's anything else of interest you think is happening during that week of travel, or just standard fare, on the old Mortis Probati?
So now we're like flying like normal, right? Like I'm flying the ship.
You're flying the ship. Yep.
Oh, I am so happy. I'm like, this is my glory. I hate warp. I love just flying through space. So I think Alessandra is just in an amazing mood the whole time. Big smile on his face. No cactus eating.
Okay.
Just wonderful. This is what he lives for.
I think Quinelli is probably in good spirits too. We're on the hunt. We have a plan. We have a new target. Riches and glory, and my father's approval is just ahead.
For sure.
Every morning when he wakes up, Papa! Oh.
Intergalactic daddy issues. There we go.
Indeed.
And Regis?
Indeed.
Regius is still pondering his life event.
Okay. Does he dream of that?
I'm wondering when he can go back.
Do you think he dreams of what he saw?
Oh, yeah, sure. He'll be thinking of it all the time when he's. That's why his scrutiny. He wasn't on.
Oh,
he wasn't
totally. Yeah,
focused.
his eyes are once again back squarely on that planet and that Xenos device. I wonder whether he considers that there may still be. It's not actual dreams he's having. It's somehow, in that low, relaxed state that he's able to tap into it still.
Yep. Could be. We need to go again.
If so, yeah. All right. Then the second week, it sounds like Alessandro, you're going to be manning the augury sensors.
Yeah, I think so.
So why don't you give us a scrutinize check, please, at plus 20 total.
Come on, roll 20. Oh!
You want to fate point that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. There we
We're
go.
almost halfway through. Okay, come on.
There you go. All right.
Nice.
All right.
Huge success.
So what you pick up, and again, it's very difficult in here. You briefly had what you thought was contact with another ship closer to the shard halo. So at this point, you're reaching about the halfway point of reaching out there. And you thought for a time that there was a ship ahead of you, closer to the shard halo. Though not traveling in the direction you are, if Regis, you do a kind of a scaling up or checking on it, this ship may be traveling directly towards where this ship is. The righteous path.
This is not good. This is not good at all, Captain. We may need to prepare for battle at some point. Looks like somebody else does know.
Unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
So, you think we should make a direct route at this point?
Thasivus points out that if you reach the shard halo, if they reach the shard halo first, it will be extremely difficult to pick them out from any of the other, in particular if they are wise and power down and try to kind of, there's an old Earth saying to play possum. They may be difficult to find amongst all of that, but if we do as Regis has suggested and follow the nape of this as well and travel our way in that way as opposed to directly in from open space, they may find us equally hard to find.
And from what we hear, this ship is, the fell hand has no mean opponent, so the edge of surprise may be the thing that helps us.
All right. Stick with our original plan then.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything of interest happened this week?
This is week 2.
Week 2.
Could be, it could be some of the training from the things we've, like I picked up quick draw talent, so maybe he's working on his,
Yep.
And I don't know how you'd work on jaded, but maybe it's sinking in.
He's just watching pictures of like dogs being put down, and
Right.
it's like, whoa.
And I'm still working on my iron discipline talent, ordering the crew, berating them relentlessly.
Okay. And then, Regis, anything that is of interest for you? I gotta see if there is. There must be something. If not in here, I know I've got something for travel I can adapt for it. There's some cool stuff to like jazz up the travel without like there's a bomb on board, kind of things. Yeah, just little small things that make it flavorful.
Yeah.
Regis, anything?
I think. No, the trouble is, I think he'll still be obsessed with his latest toy. I mean, so otherwise he will need something new significant to drag him away from that.
Okay. All right. Then, guys, would you kindly once again give us another percentile roll? Let's see how our doctor is doing. Captain, you're healing 2. Regis, you are healing 1. Alessander, you are healing 2.
I'm starting to feel pretty good now, actually. I would say. Oops. Excellent. Period.
Well, by keeping yourself relatively down, your activity levels down, I think that's giving you an opportunity to just get the what do you call it? Yeah, let the treatment, take hold. The final.
I'm well below my above my 2 times base.
Yeah. Yeah,
my bar does not seem to be refreshing. Because it looks like if you click on it, maybe it's me.
It's roll 20. This has been new since before the camera. This is our last legacy issue we had with it.
Yeah, my token. Sometimes my token doesn't update.
Yeah. What's fun is when you see
every game we play,
the bars hanging there on one square, and the token is over on another one.
Oh wow,
it's great. Okay.
That's almost got a Warhammer 40,000 feel to it almost. Like the ancient.
Exactly. I need to make my invocations to the Omnissiah.
Pray harder.
Ted, are you praying? Come on, man. Jeez.
I think they really need to get a new SRD, right? Is that the thing?
The SRD?
What are the... I've got the acronym wrong. The old tech plans from the dark age of technology.
Oh, No, the fuck. What are they called? Not. I'm trying to think what the initialism is for it, but I know what you mean. It's the fabrication things, the plans. Yeah.
Where is it? But that's clearly what Roll20 is needing at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So this is your final week. Sorry, say again.
STC.
Yes. Standard template trons. Yeah. Okay. So then, what if anything do you guys wish to do as you are approaching the ring now? From where you are, you should be fairly, distance is all relative in space, I suppose, but how far away in terms of days of travel were you intending on reaching the Void Ring, or the Void Ring, the Shard Halo, before you start making your way back, tracking back towards the resting place of the Righteous Path?
Regius, Alessander, what do you think?
I guess we'd be leaving quite a bit of gap, right? A week, an extra week. If we go too close, then the ruse is barely worth it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. We don't want to wait too long. Yeah.
So we go sort of a week to the left, and then we scoot around, and then a week to get across to the real place in the Halo.
Okay.
I would suggest, Captain.
I like it.
All right.
All right. So hold on. I just thought of something I can reskin. I believe it is in here. Here we are, guys. In here. All right. Anything of interest going to be happening this last week as you're making your way towards the outer reaches of this system?
I think that his, Alessander's excitement for driving the ship and all that, I think it's died back down, and now it's like, a little bit like, okay, warping would have been nice. 3 weeks of, being at the helm
sitting
is
in a
like
mess. Guys, I know this is gonna sound really weird, but I could really go for a fucking cactus right now.
I think it's more like he could go for like, being away from the helm, People are really reliant on him, and he had a lot more freedom when we were in the warp.
Oh, it almost sounds like union, complaints right there, Alessander. Calm down. The men are grousing. Alessander, get a hold of yourself.
He's a bit prickly now after all this.
Oh, nice.
On fire today.
Nice.
Very nice.
What would Quinelli is maybe starting to think about what is the makeup of this? So this halo, so it's little asteroids. Is that correct? These are made up of asteroids.
It's made up of trillions of asteroids. Think of the way that it seems to be described, and the way I'm visualizing it is, think of like the rings of Saturn, only encircling an entire system as opposed to a planet.
Gotcha.
Right.
You're starting to think of away teams, and
that is definitely a good plan to be thinking of. Like, how do you wish to approach this ship?
Yeah.
Because this is going to be something the size of you, and what kind of resistance will you be expecting? The ship itself surely would be all long dead, but what about the fell hand?
Yeah, what are we going to do about them, Captain?
Maybe if they're there, then maybe we need to destroy their ship first. In a sudden coup de main.
We can find it. So we need to find it, and then the concern about that they are more formidable than the Mortis Probate. And that surprise, well, if we can even achieve surprise, that would be enough to overcome their perhaps armament superiority.
You did prove quite recently that your ship was, you were not as fast as those raiders that you faced. How did you triumph against them? What was the approach that carried you through to success with them?
A superior family line, of course. It was overwhelming. But besides that, you mean?
Spamming the big boom button.
I think you guys also, remember, you did have a boarding action, too.
Oh,
yeah.
That's true.
The boarding action was sweet. And I think I should be better at that now. I've been practicing.
He's really jaded.
What do we do against a superior
Yeller
military?
on repeat.
Yeah.
Do we have any element that is better than their ship by our? We've had 2 weeks, so maybe we're comparing the ships very carefully, like speed,
the trouble is,
shields.
What Thasava said is that right now, like you guys would do, you wouldn't share your schematics with anyone else, right? You may let slip or imply certain things, but they're not going to know for sure.
We don't really know anything about their ship.
What you know is they're rumored to have big guns.
Okay. So we know we don't have big guns, so...
You did upgrade those at Footfall, though.
Yeah, we've got better weapons.
Yeah, slightly. It's not like, but this is it's a game of inches, more so than it is, massive improvements.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, when we get there, apparently we think that we'd have a hard time, that their ship wouldn't be obvious because of the environment.
No, but that also means that you may be difficult. If you can't face them, then Can we steal?
Steal their ship?
Not their ship.
Oh.
If the ultimate
steal-
goal is the righteous path,
Oh.
assuming that they have not
path?
plundered it themselves.
Uh-huh.
If our engines are still working.
Mm-hmm. Yes?
So maybe we can, Alessandro, maybe we need to arrange the idea of pilot and navigation and a skeleton crew for the ship. Plus, if it's fully loaded, we'll never get all the treasure into our holds.
Right.
Indeed. I don't know if we'll be able to tell whether they're already aboard or not upon our arrival, unfortunately.
From what Regis saw, the ship itself is embedded pretty deep in an asteroid. Frozen over or crashed or buried, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, true.
Oh.
So it'll be hard to find, or if you did not have Regis's vision, as it were, it would be probably difficult to find. And even
Maybe they won't find it.
Yeah,
Would it-
even if they're ahead of us, it may take them forever to find it. But we will need a repair crew. We should get one of those ready already.
Is it being embedded or buried in an asteroid? Oh, I see. So we would extricate it, in other words, to get it flying.
getting it flying from what Regis saw is extremely unlikely.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But it also is good, from what Regis could see, it is quite deep in the asteroid field as well. So it is, what that means is where the Mortis Probati would not be able to just cruise up next to it. You would have to make use of gun cutters or similar landing vessels. Neither could, you know, the other ship. And if the Fell Hand is a more heavily armed ship, and if that carries over that it's a bigger ship, it's going to have an even harder time trying to navigate that field and getting close.
What do we expect to find on here, Captain? Treasure, family heirlooms, ancient technologies, all of the above?
I would think all of the above.
What you guys said, the plundered riches of an entire civilization.
Okay, so we need yeah. We might need multiple trips.
Perhaps.
Would you each give us a 1d10 roll, please?
Oh. Well, if high is good, I'm on it.
Sandra.
And we'll test that theory.
Okay. Then our final approach here. Alessandro, you once again manning the augury sensors.
Yeah, I think I would.
Or the augury arrays.
Here we go.
Just plus 20 once again.
The same failure again.
You want to fate point that?
Yeah, running low, but here we go.
You're going to get one after the break,
Okay.
as a reminder. And one works. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, you roll 20.
All right. So, but I think maybe it's a combination of the interference and all those, like, it's not, to be honest, I say thin, but I have no idea how thick the rings on Saturn are. I imagine they're quite fucking thick, but this has got to be even more so. Like hundreds of thousands of kilometers of thickness, as well as the entirety of ringing the system. What I can tell you is, we also need each of you to give us a percentile roll. Let's see how your doctor treatment was going. Captain Aquare.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Regis is the one who's recovering 2 this time, and Captain and Alessandro are each recovering a 1. So,
Yay.
having reached the Shard Halo, let me show you what it is you see or you find waiting for you there.
Ooh.
And this goes on for... Oh, here. Oh, come on, game. Jeepers. Copy. There we go. Second time lucky. This extends out for, again, hundreds of millions of kilometers in either direction. So you can imagine that what you're almost seeing is like an entire, on visual sensors, an entire wall as you approach this thing.
Mm.
What is the plan here once you get there? Oh, did you lose a picture there, Captain? Oh, he's getting his picture off. Okay. So, once you guys reach there, what do you plan on doing?
I guess we're just gonna
Scoot towards the righteous.
get us. I mean, it sounds like one of our advantages is maybe getting a little closer, being able to position our ship a little closer. So I think we try to take advantage of that and get as close, like to where we think it is as we can maneuver.
I think in order to get the ship to run as close as possible to the Halo and still make good time is going to require one heck of a hotshot pilot.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Captain, do you think the crew have got one?
Let's see here. Okay.
So what is that? That's pilot.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see if there's a... What they do
There's
give
spacecraft
in
and
the
flyers are separate. So I think spacecraft is the big one and flyers is the little one.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see what modifiers it might have in here. Like I believe there's a ship stat that you add to it as well, right? Is it like handling or something like that?
Maneuverability is 3.
There you go. So you +3 to your roll. Don't get too excited.
+3?
Is that short for 30? No.
I don't think so. Let me double check here. I think it is just like you can get a much better one, but let me double check.
1 second here. I'm looking something up too.
It's been a couple. I would say maybe a couple months since we've had a ship combat kind of thing. So sadly, when it doesn't come up that often, I mean, the clear answer is we need to run more 40K games more often. But let's see here.
Indeed.
What comes up next week again?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Am I going to buy into that straight away or?
Okay, here we go.
I knew I had something. I was trying to find it. I get to re-roll all failed tests with maneuver actions aboard a spaceship.
Nice.
Whoa.
Excellent. Yeah, good reminder. I normally start the session with that of asking to refresh your memory of your talents and stuff like that, but I did not do
I knew
that
I
this
had
time.
something. I just wasn't 100%. That's
Indeed.
it. That's the one.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think your maneuverability, if it's a 3, then that is... it's just a 3, and to give context, that I believe is the final score from a couple of modifiers that went into what was in your ship. Like there's things that give you plus bonuses to it, and things that give you minuses to it from your different history.
Okay.
Like I believe, well, you got that Warpsbane hull partly because of the ship used to be part of a Space Hulk.
Okay, so here we go.
I think the age.
What do I?
Yeah, so the speed value is the
there.
void units, is how many squares you move during it. Yeah, your maneuverability is added to pilot spacecraft for this. So, I believe that this is going to be, I think it'll be challenging. So this will be the flat score. And if Captain Aquata is supervising this careful maneuvers, he'll be able to add his plus 10.
So it's a total of plus 13? Correct?
Total of plus 13. I think you can safely assume the crew is always assisting you as well. So that'll be a plus 20 total.
Could my stellar navigation help in some way?
Let's see. I think your stellar navigation is going to assist with trying to, let's see here. Let's see what stellar navigation says. I don't see it coming up in combat. Let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't come up in combat all that much, so what we'll do with the combat, like, put a pin in that, because I think what you're going to be rolling for, I'm going to see if there's any mishaps. What Jeff is rolling for is to see whether there is any, you know, getting too close to the rim kind of thing. Or perhaps getting, you know, exposing the ship, leaving its profile open for more detection. What I think you're going to be doing, Regis, is you may assist him with hiding the ship. You guys are also going to be rolling to... Well, let's do this. Regis, why don't you give us a stellar navigation at plus 20?
Okay.
Maybe you can help him out here.
Oops. Sorry, getting there.
Because as soon as I started saying it out loud, I'm like, I think I'm asking you to roll two things for the same thing. So let's just have you help out with this.
Okay. Try again.
There you go. Big money.
Sorry, I'm having... Is it generating anything? No. Huh.
The pop-up for modifiers?
Yeah, I'm clicking on the button and nothing's happening.
Yeah, I kind of had something similar there where
I'll roll 1d100 and I've got an 81 to success.
Let's see here. Let me see if
it's an 81. Oh! I guess I'll maybe hero point that, just because that's annoying.
Okay. Here. Oh, no! Okay. So, I'm just gonna... Yes, there we go. Alright, so... Regis... Yeah, really, it's really trying to do a number on you. Okay, so we're gonna... Once again, put a pin in that 99, because, Jeff, the first thing you need to do is let's see if you run into any issues otherwise. So, you are giving us a piloting check at a... hold on. You rolled a 90 and then you fate pointed it to do a 99, right?
Yeah.
Then, Alessander, would you give us a piloting check at, I believe, a plus 10?
I can't. Yeah, that thing's not working. Okay, so I have a 45.
Hold
so
up.
plus
Let me try it on my end. I'll see what. Okay, right here, Alessander.
It's like pilot spacecraft is at the bottom. It's in the specialized things where you have to enter it.
Yeah. Okay, quit moving. Man, oh man. There we go.
I click on the thing and it doesn't trigger anything. Like the last thing is sort of the button,
and that's interesting. So, Jeff, try hitting like a skill that's not in one of the skill groups here.
Yeah, it works for sure.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's weird. It's the things in the skill groups. None of those are working.
Yeah, so I'll just roll.
But the ones on top, those are still working. That's weird.
So it's a 55 I'm rolling against.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Hold on. Let me do this here.
Oh, nice.
That is really weird that they're those, because I mean we've used these skills before.
They
right?
worked for. I feel like they worked before. Something must have happened.
Yeah, something's busted.
Huh? That's weird. All right. So sorry. How did you do?
I rolled 5 under.
5 under. Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So then, what you? That's good enough. I mean that's at least a. Your maneuver is keeping your way in. Let's see here. And it's this and this. All right. Okay. All right. Then, who is during this time managing the Auspex sensors? Again, I called it the wrong thing. Augury array. Come on, Madison. Is it, I guess, the crew?
That's scrutiny, right?
Yeah.
Scrutiny, yeah.
Yeah, better be the crew. All we have is Alessandra and the crew, so.
Okay. So it'll be a 40% with that then. Who wants to give us a 40% roll?
I will hit it.
Okay. Yeah,
close.
the only reason it's challenging is because of the all the crazy interference. It's not far off, so yeah. Then let me
The crew's like, Alessandra usually does this.
Right.
Alessander has
Captain.
been firmly, placing his thoughts on something else. And I think Alessander, would you give us a percentile roll, please?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Okay. Oh, actually give us a second one as well.
Lados.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay. Now, Regis, would you give us I think it's, what is better, your senescence or your stellar navigation?
Right now, it doesn't matter. I'll roll 99.
See, this is where my
Actually,
leadership comes in.
My stellar navigation, the one that did so well, is marginally better.
Marginally better. So why don't you give us a roll for that, please? This will be a challenging, so no modifier. Let's see. Come on.
Oh, success.
Nice.
By 1.
By 1. So here is your choice. It seems as if you may have been distracted by your thoughts of what was on the planet, or perhaps it's the interference of this strange pulsing star. It's beginning to really kind of get to you because there really is something going on beyond the electromagnetic interference of it, pulsing every however long. But what is directly and immediately in the path of the ship is a weak point between this world and the warp. Your 99 has steered them directly into it. So the choice is, because you did detect this, is whether you deal with the physical encounter, which is that Alessander will need to physically evade this encounter or become stuck in a warp rift for days at least.
Oh.
Or to run directly around the edges of it, in which case the shimmering areas of the warp will potentially leave you open for incursions from it. So do you slam into this and slow down perhaps for days at the least? Or do you try and run, and on a success, you will skirt around that? Alternatively, avoid that altogether and run the risk of running through warp incursions, which you might be able to assist in resisting.
Alexander, what do you feel? Do you wish me to wrestle with the warp, or do you want to? Do you feel confident?
Well, I mean, I do have, like, mechanically speaking, I do have that ability of, if this is a maneuver with the ship, if I fail, I can re-roll it. So I do have a skill or a talent that helps us here.
That sounds good.
Might be worth the risk.
Captain?
Then I leave it to you, worthy Void Master.
Are you okay with that, Captain?
You have it. You have this right, Alessandro.
I truly hope so, Captain.
Let's see
The
what you
Chaos
have.
God's roll 20 may say different.
So here's the upside, is that because you're going to be able to add the maneuver to this, so +3, and you're going to, if Captain Aquati wishes to get himself involved and tell us how he does so, he'll be granting a +10. And because of Regis's detection of this, you get another +10. So currently you're
nice.
at +13, but I'm sure that Captain Aquati will tell us how he is going to help motivate
I'm
you.
I'm on that, we know what it looks like. So with the screen, come on the bridge, and I pull over the extra large cone, the bridge cone.
Stand next to him. See a traffic cone. Do better.
And I pull over the cone, which goes to the entire ship. And as Ali Saunders says, well, whatever you might say, here we go, Captain, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'll say, and I'll start barking in some of the, some of the lore of the Aquade family as we go into the unknown. This kind of like a roaring.
Yeah.
I'm channeling my father as I used to stand there listening to him do this on his own craft.
Okay. Nice. So
here we go.
Why don't you give us a leadership roll check, please? And that sounded pretty good. You'll get a +10 for that.
Do you want him to roll the leadership before my piloting?
Yeah. Let's do it. It's not going to relate to your role. You're definitely getting the +10 from this. I want to see if there's anything else that might.
So I should roll something. I should roll command or
command. That's something of command, not leadership. Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So everyone's slapping their chests as they begin to feel. All of you can feel as the ship goes in towards this thing. Everyone's tummy feels a little funny as the gravitic sensors and whatnot all begin reacting in a very strange way with this. Alessander, so it is once again a challenging task. No more difficult, no worse. You're getting a +23 to this.
Here we go. I'm going to roll a 23.
Look at that!
13.
What was your total score you're rolling against?
A 48.
So, why don't you tell us what it looks like as you skirt the side of this thing?
Yeah, like I think that I mean, after 3 weeks of flying this thing, he's starting to get a real feel for it, and I think he's flying it like it's a much smaller ship. Maybe everybody sort of feels a little queasy because he puts a bit of G's into the turn, but
yeah,
they make it.
Nice.
No problem.
All right. So you swing around, and then what I need last is a captain. Would you give us for your crew a augury array check here? They will be getting this is actually going to be a +20 situational modifier, so they get a grand total of +30. It is a 60% or less chance here.
There we go.
Okay. One of the sensor operators in the front, Captain, we have a sensor. There's something out there. Queen. He pulls it up on the
fame and glory's out there, man. Fame and glory.
Okay, you lean in, and as it comes up, you can hear Thasivus is on the bridge as well. When he heard about what was going on, I think he probably made his way up here. He says, I'm not sure about glory or fame, sir, that is some sort of Auspex satellite. Auspex, again, god dang. Augury drone. You are not far away from where the what do you call it? The righteous path is. There is a beacon that has been placed that is effectively like a buoy, an augury array buoy.
To pick up our presence, I assume. To pick up other ships' presence.
Quite possibly. But as far as you can tell, for one, having just passed through that gravitic anomaly, it is extremely unlikely that they would have been able to detect you. But you do now know that this last stretch of a couple of days heading in, that would have you will have that thing sort of looking at you the entire time. I suppose there's another thing, is that it confirms the presence of something.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Probably
we're not
want to try
first.
Yeah, so we probably want to try and mask ourselves from this thing. Get that
Right.
debris between us.
That would be best if we can manage it.
Okay. So, why don't we do this? Let's take our mid-session break. Contemplate what we will be doing as you approach there, and then we'll be back in about 5 minutes, and we will see what our heroes elect to do next. And remember, when you get back from the break, everyone gets a fate point, except for Captain Aquati, because he's very tight-fisted with his. You know, there's that old saying, you know, mind your fate points and the dollars will take care of themselves. So
That's what my uncle always said, anyway.
exactly. So we'll be back for those listening at home momentarily. All right. So it turns out I'm not mixing my settings up. Auspex sensors are a thing in 40K.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
Makes sense. You read it somewhere or saw it somewhere.
It must be. And also, well, I've been listening to. There's one. There's a what do you call it? I've signed up for Audible, so I've got a ton of books. I find them much harder to listen to when I'm trying to do something else, because I'll lose. You know, I'll be working and get kind of caught up on something, and then I'll be like, okay, what happened for the last half chapter? I have no idea what's happened. So it's been difficult. But there's one called Grim. What is it here? Grim Repast that I've been listening to. It's this like a guy who's like a cop on a hive world investigating this thing. It's really fucking cool. But they talk about, I'm sure I've heard them talk about Auspex sensors in it too. James, I was saying when you were gone, I discovered they're referenced in the rule book. Auspex sensors are a thing. I'm not confusing. Yeah. But there's something else I wanted to bring your attention. A couple of things. For one, there's a difference between passive scans and active scans. Jeff will tell you about the time that the guys decided to, this is back when we were playing our Star Wars game, they were trying to sneak into a modified Star Destroyer that had been retrofitted to be a giant biological laboratory, a moving laboratory that could be hidden. And the very last minute before they went in, the guys decided to do an active scan. So it's basically like a single ping from a submarine right underneath a thing that's a mile long and full of guns and biological weapons. Turns out that was not a great tactic for sneaking in, but it was great fantastic for the game.
Yeah.
For this, what that means, for one, is that if that thing is pinging away, it's probably doing a half-ass active scan. So it means it's going to be very easy to see it and track it and find it. So if you have any desire to find that beacon, it is going to be almost like, it would be almost like, you know, light walking towards the only lit candle in a completely darkened room. But there is a maneuver you guys can do to try and change things. That is to run in a powered down state.
Oh.
Now, once again, this does require an incredible hotshot pilot.
I'm on a hot roll here
to pull this off. What you can do is, where is it here? Silent running is an ordinary +10 pilot spacecraft plus maneuverability check. That just prevents you from accidentally putting too much power into something or putting into whatever else. That means it can only be, your speed unfortunately is halved during this time, and the difficulty of all related skill tests increased by 1, but it will add a -30 to their auspex, their checks, their attempts to try and detect you. And what I'm thinking is that we will just have, if you're successful, if you decide to do silent running, and if you decide to, what do you call it, to sneak your way up towards it, and if Alessandro is successful in his silent running, then what I'll let you do, Alessandro, is you will decide what penalty that the additional penalty the auspex sensors are going to have, or the augury array is going to have to try to detect you, and you will just take the same penalty to your piloting check. So the closer you're riding to the halo, the more danger you're putting yourself in, the less likely it is for them to detect you. So the starting modifier for them would be a -30. All things in between the captain, the crew, and the maneuverability, you'd be getting +23 to your piloting check. And then you can decide what you want to do. You could even get a bonus if you want to make sure you don't like damage the vehicle or anything like that. You could take a +10 to your roll or a +30 to your roll. That would just give a bonus to the sensor check, which might offset that -30.
What do you think, Captain? How risky should we be?
Well, his first question is do you wish to do that? The other thing is you could, what Thasivus would indicate is that if they want to keep an eye out, if we think that they're going to see us, let's let them see us, destroy their eyes.
Right, we could destroy this thing. What do you feel, Captain? Destroy the sensor or try to sneak past it?
Oh, you're muted, Sean.
I think it's more valuable to sneak past it.
You got it.
Especially with a skilled pilot as you, Alessandro.
Well, so
first things
Shall
first,
we-
then.
So what you're saying is right now I have a plus 23 and I can shrink that to give them more of a penalty on their...
You know, the first thing is to make sure to see if you're successful in silent running.
Okay.
So for that one is you got a plus 23 between if the captain is helping, the crew is helping, and the maneuver is helping. And to be clear for those listening at home, Mumi, when you can determine how many people can help in a task, and what Captain Aquare is doing is a special ability, not just assisting. So that will be who's going to keep an eye on the sensor? And I guess, do you have a way of knowing whether or not it's going to detect you? Because it'll keep pinging that scan. So,
Right.
Hmm.
what would you learn from that? Here's another option. I'm looking on page 216, 217, 218 of the different actions you can take in combat to kind of give an idea of what you guys could do here. I do note that Octus, with his tech use, one of the options is jamming communications.
Oh, what if we jam it? Well,
Because then it could be it would be silenced, but it would not be able to transmit whatever information that it gathered about you. This can be combined with your other plan as well, too, but that is one option, is they could jam the communication so this thing cannot communicate with the, the ship. The other thing is that in order for technology can communicate with a Vox communicator over fairly large distances, but to communicate really like big distances in this world, you need psychics. That's why you plunk a astropathic psychic on every one of these ships. Unless they plunked a psychic in there, and they are an extraordinarily valuable asset.
yeah, I can't see
then
that.
it's got to be only a mechanical way of communicating.
Alessandro, what are your chances of... I mean, so destroying it would obviously tell them we're on our way and where we are, since we just destroyed their...
Yeah, if you destroy
beacon.
it without jamming, then they would probably detect you and be able to communicate that before they got back to you, before you destroyed it. So they would not only know that it was destroyed, they would also know who did it. If you jammed it, what that would prevent it from doing is, yes, they would know that it lost a signal, and yes, they may know that it was destroyed. They may not know who did it, though.
Fair.
Now, the other thing is that I mentioned that as only one option. The other thing that Octus can do is he can aid the machine spirit, which on a success will grant +5 to the ship's maneuverability or to its detection, and every 2 additional degrees of success gains an additional +5.
Oh.
So he can work with the machine spirit and calibrate one of the 2 ship abilities. But if he's doing that, he's not jamming.
I mean, if we're if they lose contact with the beacon, they may, it's not obvious like destroying it, but they may suspect, that something is afoot since they're expecting company. That it is not crazy that would give them a tip off that like
right. If we sneak past it, they for sure aren't necessarily told anything.
Right. Sneak past is the top option. But it's what is your chances, you think, Alexander, of
So with everything while you're silent running, all skill tests are increased by 1, so it'd be modified by -10, basically. So it would be from just you and from the crew, and from the maneuverability be +13. Without factoring in how easy or hard that Alessandro wants to make it.
And you get a reroll, Jeff?
Yeah.
And you have fate points?
Yeah. Oh, actually.
Yeah, everyone got a fate point when they got back from break.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, yes. Technically, I have something like 3 out of 4, sir.
I think we should try the sneak. I mean, if I was piloting, I would not make the same choice. But with yourself, and this is part of my leadership bonus right here.
So
but with you, yeah.
Who would like to roll for James, you gave the character the name. Why don't you give us a roll for Octus? He is making. Well, hold on. You decide. Do you guys wish to have him doing the jamming thing, which will, that could be explained as just bad interference. They wouldn't necessarily detect you. Or to aid the machine spirit and try and increase the maneuverability or the detection for the ship.
Do you think
so? That would, yeah.
I guess the jamming would be his strong point.
Okay.
Maybe.
It can either benefit the jamming or benefit what Alessandro's doing. Is that
basically
right.
So? The jamming the jamming doesn't mean that it would know that you're there, but it would definitely shut off the sensors or shut off the communication with it. So it would mean even if it did spot you, if you fucked up and flew. So it was noticed, it means it couldn't warn anybody. Alternatively, he could focus on just making the machine spirits work in an optimum way and try and give you flat bonuses if he succeeds.
Oh, for Alessandro.
For Alessandro, yeah.
Regius, you're thinking...
it's worth bearing this in mind, too, for anytime anytime you guys are doing something else with one of the other systems, that he can do that to try and boost up the detection as well. So when you're trying to search stuff out, he could really help with that too.
Regius, you prefer the jamming than Alessandro bonus?
Well, if you jam, that gives us sort of at least two angles of attack. If he only helps me, then we're sort of all in on that plan succeeding.
I was thinking you can maybe have that more under control, and then Octus can try and cover the other base.
Okay.
I will speak to the machine spirits and have them interfere. Blind that creature. Silence those other spirits.
So he starts muttering away to his servitors, and let's see here. So the difficulty of jamming is it's a difficult tech use, so -10. But his score would be a 55, I guess, to start with. So it'd be a 45. Oh, look at Captain Aquare trying to go beyond his limit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's standard Aquare type behavior, really.
There's a neat new rule. So in the playtest pack that came out today for Kobold Press's Black Flag, that like kind of like 5.5 version that's coming out, The rule is for luck, and what it is you get. So I think you start with 1 point of luck or a certain point of luck. Every time you fail a skill roll, you get 1 point of luck to a maximum of 5. You can spend the luck on a 1-for-1 basis to modify rolls after the fact. So it's a way of sort of, it's like, I mean, Castles and Crusades, those who have played Castles and Crusades with me, this is one of the rules we play with in that. But the neat thing I like is that if you've got 5 luck and it goes over, what you do is you roll a 1d4 and it resets down to that number.
Oh.
So it's a spend it or lose it kind of
Interesting
situation. Yeah, it's neat. I like, I mean, the obvious option then is that if you would have failed, because I think the only way you automatically gain luck is through failing. The way around that is I failed. Well, fuck it. I'll spend 1 luck to get myself down to a 4. Unless the ruling of the GM is that as soon as you fail, you get your point of luck, in which case you got to re-roll. But then when would you usefully use 5 in it? I'm not sure what, like, I haven't seen it in play or whatnot, but I thought it was a neat way of incentivizing the use it or lose it, kind of element of that mechanic.
right.
Not that I'm saying I'm implementing that for you guys. You guys
Because usually it's just that you lose it. You lose that 1 point, obviously, because you can't add it on above the cap.
exactly. So you would lose that. Well, the thing, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know if you'd have to like spend it quickly so you could go up to 5. As soon as you go over 5, you roll your 1d4 and it resets to that. And I guess what that means is that if you're keeping 5 points, you're sort of keeping it. You're running a car in the red the whole time.
Yeah.
But like, when would you spend it? There's probably more.
Yeah,
to
like
it
as soon as you get to 5 points, then your first fail, you're going to try and spend it, but you
can't.
hitting
So
that.
it resets.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's got to be. I must be missing something in it.
Yeah, there must be one little
Catch
thing
thing.
in there
But I do really
yeah.
like the idea of the like use it or lose it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So, then let's get some dice rolls going here. So 55. So it's a 45% chance. Now, Captain, what task do you wish to assist with here? He can't be in 2 places at once. Is it the silent running by Alessander, or is it so Octus? I think Octus can take another +10 because of the crew. He probably has the crew assisting him, or perhaps his servitors. So that would be a... Oh, and let's quickly take a look at their default things. So you can assume, Regis, you got a 55 right now. I'll make a character sheet for him between now and next session. That charity session is chewed up 2 weeks. I know I said I was going to do that last time, but that thing chewed up all my free time the last little bit. Now, hold on. We're fishing to see whether there is extra ability, and we haven't had the captain decide whether or not...
shoot. Sorry.
Yeah, so we'll tell you when you need to
Let's
roll.
forget that one. Yep.
Alessander.
You're assisting
sir.
Alessander?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, let's see here. As a low-level tech priest here, that doesn't help. Hold on. There might be one that helps. Something in his brain. Let's see here. Because they're just full of cybernetics. Aha, ha, ha. So, I'm glad I looked it up for you. I got some good news for you, Regis. The Logis or Logis implant is not as impressive, perhaps, to the layman as some of the extensive implants that a Space Marine, one of the Emperor's Angels, receives. But what this does is if the Explorator uses his reaction for the round and makes a tech use test... but I should finish reading it. He gives +10 to weapon skill and ballistic skill. I thought he gave +10 to tech use. That's
Well, so
totally
he shoots
useless.
it.
That's a big
He
build-up
gets
for
fed up
nothing.
and finally shoots the...
Oh, man. And then... Does your mechadendrite help you whatsoever? Your mechadendrite might give you an assistance here. So, let's assume it does for now. So that means another... Here it is, mechadendrite. here's the thing we're looking for: the Mind Impulse Unit, or the MIU. Plus 10 bonus to tech use. Used in conjunction with devices capable of MIU linking, which I assume that the sensors on here can. So you got a 65% chance of success, and he does have 3 fate points still because he hasn't spent any of them. So go right ahead whenever you're ready. 65.
Yay!
There you go.
Octus is the man, or at least half man.
he was once. All right, so with him, acting, or him and the mechadendrite, his servitors buzzing around his body, plugging, unplugging things, throwing switches. We would see that there are some lights on this little beacon that is holding off in space that suddenly start pulsing in a very agitated manner because it has lost its connection with the ship that it was contacted to. That's a Space Hulk that's waiting out there.
So we're ready for my roll?
We are ready for your roll. So this is a total for you of a plus 13.
Okay.
With all things factored in.
There we go. Yes.
Ooh.
There you go. So what do you see
Nice.
as soon as Octus says,
The machine spirit in the sky is blind.
what do you do?
Well, this is the move side. This is the he probably turns the engine to as low as we can. Just you see this thin blue burn.
Yeah.
And we're just, he's probably got some kind of maybe we've some kind of light goes on actually telling the crew, the entire ship, to be quiet as well.
It's like red,
the lights dim or something, and it's dark and just these runner lights come on in the hallways and stuff. Everybody knows, just shh.
Yeah.
Turn off your radios and all your little.
And I like to think how most of it's completely unnecessary and irrelevant, but that's what we do.
Oh yeah, and everyone's like,
Absolutely.
someone points guys, we're in a void. There's nothing to transmute sound here. So
Yeah.
Quiet. And he's immediately shushed.
exactly. Shut. It's the point of things.
Yeah.
All right. So the ship, we see the flash of your engines, and it's worth appreciating the extraordinary skill that Alessandro. This is not a matter of just slowly putting his foot down on the pedal and inching forward. This is mastering 70 different systems at once. Any one of them could pulse in power. It's his absolute mastery of knowing what systems work and how they work and where there will be flares up and working around that stuff. So the signature of this half-mile ship will be no more of note than one of these asteroids drifting across this thing's sensor scope. And this is while the what do you call it, the link with the other vessel is off. And I think with a roll that good too, Regis, what Octus is doing is making it think that there's a gravitic anomaly.
Well,
So with that drifting thing that you guys nearly got caught in, he may be able to make them think that this is, that it's just that. Now it's worth also remembering the scope or the scale of this. This is going to be 2 days of slowly drifting along while you're waiting to see if that thing goes off. You're not going to need to make any more rolls. We've made those rolls. You've got your successes for silent running and for that thing being jammed. But that's how long it's going to take as you slowly slip past this thing.
Right, we're exactly.
I clap Alessandro on the shoulder and stage whisper, you look pleased. It seems you've been successful, eh?
I hope so, sir.
Okay, then what?
Now I imagine part of the being quiet and keeping the ship quiet. The people in this universe always strike me as a superstitious lot as well. It's
yeah, maximum.
ritual
100%.
and that kind of stuff matter as much as the science of being heard.
Oh, definitely.
You may look up and you see that I have my my captain's cap on backwards. You know, some
Nice.
like a rally cap. You know, a clear, rally cap of kind of.
All right. So then Octus is going to be maintaining for the next couple of days this stuff. We do have now the actual maneuvering. So this is where it cannot communicate with whoever it's communicating with. The decision is you are going to take a -10 to this, Alessander.
Yeah.
So do you you'll have a total with your captain's assistance of +13 to this, including the maneuverability and the crew assisting. But +13 to this. They have a -30 to their scrutinize.
Right. So we could make it worse if we want to take a penalty here.
You can make it worse if you want to take a penalty, or you could, if you want to make sure that you successfully maneuver here without, running into anything or running into any difficulties. And I think really all it is just like, it'll be you running into the field. It'll be some damage to the ship.
What do you think, Captain? How cautious should we be here?
How are you feeling about it, Alessander? How's your confidence level?
It's okay.
How is your confidence level in upholding the Aquade standard?
A little nervous, but
I'm not sure
not
I
bad.
mentioned, but there's about 6 new cacti that are at his station.
A horticulturist also, eh?
Yes, sir. Would you like me to try and make it hard for them to spot us?
Maybe a bit.
Well, okay. Let's do 10 then.
-10?
Yep. So then I'm getting +3? Is that correct?
+3 to your roll. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You get to re-roll for free, too.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
Let's see.
Yeah!
Look at that.
I'm on a hot
Beautiful. Okay, so I got
streak.
-40 to their scrutinize. Let's see here. Let me calculate what this would be then. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you move this thing down, and it's just like skirting along the cusp of this stuff. You almost might see from a certain angle like a strange shaped stone skipping across a lake of tumbling icy rocks. But not once does this stone connect with the surface. And it does not appear there's been no change from what Octus can detect in the beacon. 2 days of travel, and you guys will be at the location that Regis saw for the righteous path.
Beautiful.
As you are getting closer, Regis will be able to try and locate with this. Try and, square where you guys are with what he saw in his visions. Let's see here.
It was great teamwork.
Definitely.
Indeed.
Okay.
I think Alessander finally feels useful. Like, he wasn't very helpful in the firefight. We've been warping around, and he's just been getting, sort of space sick. And I think this is the first time he feels like he's really contributed to the mission here. So
Nice.
A member of the Aquade family. I mean, not exactly, let's be honest, but I mean, at least, you know.
You can see where the captain's inspiration comes from.
So you will need to get within a few thousand kilometers of the asteroid to properly scan it. But it's definitely it's deep in those rocks.
Our quarry is afoot.
So, if the ship is deep
easy.
in there, what's the plan for getting in there? And what is the plan for the fell hand if or when you see it?
Yeah, like, are we going to try and outrun them? Going to test our new guns, sir?
Is any part of the righteous path visible? Who would I be?
You'll need to, that can only occur when you're within a couple thousand kilometers.
Hmm.
That would be about a day and a half. Then you'll be there.
Seems we need to get close enough to see if a door is some kind of hatch is accessible.
Yes.
That is actually a good question. If you find this thing sealed, how do you plan on getting inside?
Well, we should take a look and see if there's any sign of someone ahead of us having done something. So if they've, I don't know, blasted their way through rock, or, you know, we take a good look and see if they have paved the way for us by some chance. Mm-hmm. Or at least giving us a clue as to their entrance. I mean, hopefully there is some part of the ship, even if there's, so best of all would be a port of some kind, some opening that is accessible.
Yes.
Next down is if there is a part of the ship that is accessible, but that does not have a port. So at that point, we would be trying to cut our way through, I would think, the hull.
Yeah.
And then lastly, worst of all, would be no part of the ship is outside of the asteroid. That would be most unfortunate. I'm not quite sure what we do in that case.
Well, I think I've seen that shouldn't be the case.
He has definitely seen that there's part of the ship that is
very good.
Is outside for sure.
Regius always full of good news. Yes. Excellent.
So
you didn't happen to notice if there was a portal showing, did you, Regius?
I don't think so. But if the surface is out, then there should be presumably some ports.
We'll see.
We may have to cut in, but it's been a long time.
Yes.
You would have the necessary, the gear to cut into a bulkhead and stuff like that. It just means it'll take some time, and you'd have to have the necessary, people on board or with you on the planet, or on the asteroid, I should say. Anything else you wish to? Well, why don't we do this? Is there any other planning you want to do before you get within that distance?
So I guess the only other thing is if we see another ship.
What do you guys intend on doing? Engage? Retreat?
Yeah, that's the real tricky question.
Well, here's the other thing, too, is that you will, unfortunately, unless you activate your active sensors, which will give away your location, or at least make it very easy to see, you're relying on much less powerful passive sensors, passive augury arrays to try and detect that other ship.
Right.
So do you just wait and see if you either stumble across it or if they detect you and attack you?
Well, why don't? Yeah, I mean, we don't have to activate our array until we get there, exactly there, and see what's going on. Like, see if we see them. Like we can make a bit of a judgment call at least a little bit when we get close, as opposed to right now.
I guess that would have an effect on the weather too. Is what kind of sensor scan you want to do on the righteous path, or the direction of the righteous path. Passive sensors will give you less information and be less reliable. You have to kind of rely on luck to have no interference with those scans. An active scan will give you a more precise thing, but if anyone is, keeping their sensors out, that would be pretty easy to detect as you send that pulse out, as it were.
Right.
So,
can Octus determine whether he still has the beacon blinded?
He's maintaining the jamming from the drone, definitely.
Yeah. Thoughts, gentlemen?
I mean,
like, to be honest, I hadn't thought about it with the distance, but like because I think the thing I told you about scanning it from several thousand kilometers away, that's using active sensors. That's not relying on passive sensors.
Right. Like, so that's why
passive sensors would have to be probably much closer. But as far as you can tell, you're moving quite silently, so I'll stop talking. I keep making things worse for you guys.
More complicated. Well, I think we get close and see what's going on, and then we decide if we want to turn our active sensors on. Like, I think we try to stay stealthy as long as we can, Captain.
Yeah, because we've got. Otherwise, we waste the advantage you've got for us.
Right. I mean, 5 minutes notice is enough for them to power up their weapons. Sir.
I think this is all. I agree. The only question is whether if we do encounter a ship, how we handle it. Do we play possum? Do we play like we're not there, or do we do we attack? Do we let them attack first? Do we let them have the first move to determine whether we're seen?
I have some good news for you. Remember that the ship uses a character's ballistic skill. Thasivus Zoil's ballistic skill is like a 47. So you guys were decently competitive last time, but you're going to have someone who is a much better shot.
Now, I will point out, I'm a little better than that.
Yeah, are you? Why? But that means that you wouldn't be doing any of the other stuff.
What's his score for ballistic?
47.
Oh, I know he is better than me still. Yeah.
I'm a 48.
I upgraded for the... But he's still...
Are you a 48?
I have a 48. But
so it's 1% difference.
Yeah, so I should probably do something else.
His is also, I don't know if there's any advancements he's got yet.
Well, and you technically can add 10% to him.
At the very least, he should shoot, and I should encourage him if that's the way we want to.
If that's what we're doing.
Shoot them!
Yeah.
My God, man, shooting! He's right there. What are you doing?
So, what do? So anyway, so that you do have a more capable, crew member now.
Yeah. I don't have to do everything. No.
Exactly. Like the obnoxious, small business owner who can't keep an employee.
Right.
Well, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, fine. Fucking
the
quit.
ultimate micromanager.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually what the it's in Latin, of course, but it's what the slogan of the Aquate line is.
Yeah. I suppose if we do happen to run into a ship, that we wait to see if it can see us. What do you think?
Yes, I think we remain stealthy and then
tell Force not to be.
Yes. Well, and if we see it's clear, we could use our active scanners to try and find the loot.
Well, clear, you mean from our passive sense. If our passive sensors
Yes.
says there's no one around.
Right. And if we still don't find the is it the, I don't remember the name
Fell
of the ship.
Hand.
The Fell Hand, then we could turn on our active sensors.
I mean, I will ask this though, with the presence of that buoy, what are the chances that the Fell Hand's not here, or that that's someone else, whether it's the Fell Hand or by some crazy coincidence with the timing that someone else isn't here? I mean, what is the chance?
Yeah, I don't know.
It would seem that buoy, Kevin, were we able to tell, like, that buoy, is it possible it was put there 5 years ago? I mean, or you know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. I think what Octus can tell you based on it, like you have to do a scan on it to really get further details about it. It's that what Octus can tell you is it is the type of technology that is found in the Imperium. It is not Xenos technology that is being used out there. It is strangely pyramidal in shape. It's got a green hue to it, but otherwise, definitely,
with clovers, with
yeah, exactly. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's Necrons. No, it is completely. It definitely is the type of thing you would see in the technology of the Imperium.
Just concerned that basically tips the hand that they're bound to be here, but perhaps not. I mean, perhaps that's been there for some time. What is your thoughts? Do you think that gives it away? Either of you?
I mean, I don't think it's the chances are high that it is them, but it is not a guarantee of their presence.
It could be someone else, but it seems unlikely, right?
Yeah. The odds are very high it's them, but not a certainty.
Well, let's do what let's go in there, do what we can, and we can have this conversation briefly again after we see what the passive auguries reveal.
Okay. So then it is a 2-day tense voyage skimming across the surface of the Halo. When you reach your destination, you can still Octus is furiously maintaining the jam, so he that whoever the satellite or the beacon, I should say, buoy, cannot communicate with whatever or whoever its master is. What is we're using the crew's scrutinize, I suppose.
Yeah, because Alessandra's busy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they have 3, and it's a +10 detection from the ship, I believe. Is that right? +10?
Let's see here. Checking. Detection 10. Yes.
Okay. So they are running the sensors, and Regis, you are able to give a little more direction.
Okay.
And some of the passive sensors, these are the visual sensors, are able to pick up an asteroid which seems to have a prow of some ancient vessel sticking out from it. This is a different angle than what you view this vessel as, but you can see it there. You are certain this is the righteous path. Now, a righteous path may be there, but that is the only path that appears to be here, because there is really no way to fit the ship safely within this asteroid. What you can also see is there are dozens of other craft that seem to have been drawn here, and there is an icy graveyard of other broken ships. Much more free-flowing, but all sort of drifting around that central area. It's not unsafe. They're not, creating an obstruction or whatnot. It just seems that you guys may not be the first to have come here. The ship itself, the closest you can get to it, is about 300 meters away. There is a clearing between the twisted ships and the wrecks that are out there.
So they're all jammed together, a Space Hulk.
This is kind of like a proto-Space Hulk. In either one bad day in the warp or, a couple of centuries, this ship may all sort of drift together. And then all you need is the intervention of a gap in the warp, which you may have passed not far back. And this will be yet another Space Hulk, bopping its way around.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
So to get there, you can get the ship within 300 kilometers. What I guess before I turn away from the surface or the skimming the surface of the halo, though, there is no sign of the fell hand.
Well, I guess we make our move.
And at this point, we don't know about ports. Is that right?
From here, no. What you can see is, let's see here. You will have to get down to the surface without a active scan. You can see it. It seems like the front of the ship is pointing out, but there's just the level of fidelity that you can get from here is still just very grainy. Why don't we do this? Well, I guess like Octus is probably still occupied with the jamming, if that's what you want him to keep doing. Do you guys have any other thoughts for how you might get more information about the ship, apart from making use of your sensors? They made a best effort to try and make use of the sensors the crew did, and this is as good as they can get right now.
Mm-hmm.
Any ideas for how to try and get further information without going down there?
I don't imagine there's anything in the psychic realm. Is there, Regius?
I was thinking, I'm thinking if I can have a little check here.
Yeah. I mean, that's what makes the most sense to me.
Why don't you give us, let's see here.
So I would check to see if so my gaze into the abyss, I think I would look into that just to see if there's any major disturbances of the warp.
Well, can you click on that
things
ability
like
again?
warp portals. It's called Gaze into the Abyss.
Oh, right, no, but you can click on it and display it, can't you?
There.
Yeah, perfect.
Well.
Are you at novice or are you at adept?
I'm not. I'm just. I'm just a novice, so I can't do anything on that.
Okay. Well, there's demons down there, though. Yeah, I'll tell you that.
There you go.
Even knowing the absence of that might be of value.
Yep. So I need to be able to see it, but.
Such a percentage you can determine if a creature or object holds the taint of the warp. I mean, you're not wrong about the whole...
Let's see if it's... Yeah, I can see if the ship has got a taint of the warp.
I'm going to give you a plus 30 to this because it's a huge thing. So this would be an easy... This should be like again, the candle in a dark room kind of thing. Very obvious, even to the least skilled of individuals. So you need a perception check.
Yep. So.
Okay. Holy smokes!
Easy. So I had a 78 chance.
So that, holy shit! So here's what there's definitely no taint of the warp on the ship.
Oh, well, that's a good thing, right?
That's a good
But
thing.
with a roll that good, there is something of psychic power down there.
Oh, that's not good.
And
Can I feel if this is the psychic power I've felt before?
you rolled so well, yeah. It has it's like hearing a tune that you heard once, you know. It gets caught in your head very quickly, and you know precisely whoever is down there is the psychic that you connected to through their mecha familiar. You can also tell that they are aware that you scanned them. So somewhere on that surface there is a psychic. Whether that be on the asteroid itself, within the asteroid, or within the ship concealed there. They're there. And you know that they're not touched by the warp. At least not by chaos.
I am still going off this guy. Captain. They are here. They are on the surface. And he has brought his psychic.
You feel they're on the surface and not in the ship.
Well, I suppose effectively the same. They're there. They're aware of us, and
So I'm wondering
on the
if,
ship or immediately next to the ship, they're.
communication between an away team and a ship, Kevin, is that pretty easy?
Vox
is it
communicator.
Vox. Those are good, right?
Yep.
For that. Okay.
Unfortunately, Octus has got a jamming signal up.
Yeah, I was just curious. Oh, I see. Well, I was curious as to their abilities to communicate with the fell hand was my.
If you drifted within 300 kilometers, the jamming goes out. I think it's 10 void units. So, like, it would fuck up their ability. Whoever's down there may be freaking out because they suddenly lost contact with anyone off, that they can't speak to in line of sight.
So the fact that you feel, Regius, that they know of our presence because of you just now. Is that what you're thinking?
Yes.
Well,
Just as I detected him, he detected me.
Octus's jamming would not prevent psychic communication too. So we have not met them yet, but you have astropaths on board as well. So would that you need to communicate with someone, you could bring an astropath down with you, and then they could communicate back with the astropathic choir that you leave on board the Mortis Probati. That would guarantee communication. Whether the other it would be Regis would need to do either a more detailed scan or have different abilities to determine what kind of psychic is down there. But it may not be. It could be a rogue psyker. It could be a navigator like himself. It could be a astropath. Astropathic communication is a very specific type of psychic training. So whether that person on the surface can communicate with their ship is an open question. Not all psychics are alike.
Right.
So I was wondering if they know, and if their ship knows, then at that point it would make sense to just go active scanning, because there's nothing to be gained perhaps by the continued stealth and maintaining passive.
You have not
sensors.
found their ship yet. If they activate an active scan, they still have the same penalties that you had before, which is the jamming and the hiding. They're at minus 30 to try and find minus 40 to try and find you guys right now.
Right.
Because you're running power down and you're hiding effectively. I mean, one of the upsides is where you position yourself is you're around a bunch of derelict ships as well, too. And while I think you think well of the Mortis Probati, remember, it used to be part of a Space Hulk. So it would not...
It's home.
The casual viewer may mistake it for something that is, in a few centuries, may be part of a proto-Space Hulk as well. I guess you would learn as soon as they start conducting active scans, right?
Right.
And
So which of you will flinch first?
Yeah.
I was asking about whether you thought they were inside the ship, Regius, because I was just curious whether they found a way in.
Okay. Do you think I could tell that, or?
I can tell you that with the visual sensor scan that you had, again, the resolution was not great. Unfortunately, there's a lot of places to hide on the asteroid as well. So if there is anyone who's on the surface down there, they may have been able to conceal themselves. Getting closer, getting in there with a gun cutter or some other way of getting to the surface, that will give you access to a closer scan that doesn't have 300 meters worth of derelict ships and floating space rocks and ice cubes between it. But, of course, you're going down there blind then. Right now, you cannot see anyone on the surface. Regis had scanned the ship, and that is where he made contact with that psychic.
So they're probably inside. Is that what you feel like, Regius?
Yeah. That's my best guess.
Well, it just seems we have to take the cutter and get closer, eh?
Would seem that way.
I'm not sure what else we can do out here other than choose to sorry.
Well, if they're there, we should at least bring some armed men with us, sir.
Oh, no question.
Or 1,000.
So, the gun cutter carries... Where is it here? One or two pilots, one or two gunners, and an engineer, and it has crew quarters for 6 and has a cargo hold large enough to transport about 30 people or the equivalents in cargo, and there are 6 void suits on board. So each gun cutter figure 30 troops, 30 what do you call it? Armsmen you could transport. And I assume you have certainly more than one gun cutter on board here. You would have enough to shuttle things down, but what... Let me think here. I'm trying to find I can't remember what I think it's like 10% or 20% of your crew effectively can be pressed in as gun cutters, as the Transformers, as, what do you call it?
Soldiers.
Soldiers, thank you, Armsmen.
Armsmen, yeah. I mean, we should take some percentage for sure with us. What that is, I don't know. I really don't know, Captain. That's your call.
Well, let's head down.
Who are you bringing with you? I'm just finding your ship to tell you what the total amount of armsmen. I suppose the other thing is the armsmen are what you use to repel boarding actions. So if, God forbid, the ship is attacked, or the Emperor, forgive my heresy, in your absence, how do you repel the folks attacking? And I guess, are you bringing Thasavus and Octus down with you? if Octus leaves, there will be a much lower chance of that jamming being maintained.
I think we should leave him on board.
You have 18,000 crew in your 2-kilometer-long vessel.
So
should we take 6 or 7 guys?
Exactly. So that's between, what is it, 1,800 and 30, what is that, 3,600 troops you can deploy right now. It's suddenly turned into the end of You Only Live Twice. A bunch of guys in one uniform fighting a bunch of guys in another uniform while we only focus on what you guys are doing. This would be great.
I guess we leave Octus. I guess we probably bring Thasivus.
Okay. That means if the ship gets into trouble, you're relying on the crew to fight.
to an extent, I guess. Yeah, of course, we have to.
It's not to an extent. That's the case. It would be using the 30% score as opposed to whatever his scores are. That's more the point I'm making.
Yeah, and they're not very good. Dare I say it, Captain?
Meaning Thasivus or the crew?
The crew.
Mm.
So what do you guys think? What do you gentlemen think we should do?
Well, I think we better not leave our ship completely unprotected.
Exactly. I think
They may be hoping to lure us down and then take our ship from us.
Meaning that, meaning what specifically would you say?
Once we're off the ship, they may attack.
So,
yeah. So at least Octus behind.
yeah, Octus will leave behind. I guess then the only question is Thasivus.
And how many crew members do you wish to bring down?
Well, at least what we can fit on our one ship, right? Would you say that was 30?
30.
So it's us.
In addition to the minimum crew for the gun cutter, 30 people.
Right.
Per gun cutter.
So I think we bring at least, 20 soldiers or whatever that is, then, like us plus 20 men or something.
Okay.
And a medic. Oh, he won't survive.
A medic. Yeah, he may not survive, but we need him.
And what about Thasivus? What about Centurion Thasivus? Sounds kind of Roman feel there to it. Feel like Thasivus.
Got a bit of a feel. I may have been dabbling in that stuff in the last couple of weeks.
Should we bring Thasivus or leave him to defend the ship?
I like the idea of a man with a gun being with us.
And at that point, Octus would be the leader of the ship defense, I guess.
Yes.
No,
Well,
as you think, Captain, 'tis your ship.
Indeed. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we bring Thasivus with us.
Okay.
Octus, don't lose my ship. And then that'll be the last thing I'll say out the
Okay, and he's muttering in binary back and forth to the Denise 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, as these floating skulls are zooming in and going and maintaining the jamming thing. That is the other thing, is that Thasivus mentions that if we decide to bring down more than one of us, as soon as we get out of line of sight, we will not have Vox communication. It was a prudent choice, Captain, to bring one.
To bring one what? To bring
one squad.
Ah. Very good. Well, let's head out.
Okay. Everyone will be equipped with, or will have to be equipped with void suits. There was no obvious, at least when you scan, no obvious like docking port or anything like that. So this will involve the hard vacuum of space, which means that when you're exposed? Where did that come from? Exposed to the void. Remember that we have rules for explosive decompression, exposure to the cold of space, and all sorts of that shit. So
let's just hope that does not.
Let me remind myself. What's the rebreather on here? Does it?
Yeah, it does not help you in space.
Damn.
No, it definitely allows you to breathe in a thin atmosphere, but does not. You need the void suits to do that. And yeah, so here we go. Effects of gravity. Ooh, profit.
Now, do we have? I can't remember. Where's
everyone's got enough void suits to go around. Plus, there are 6 on the ship itself. Yeah, you will definitely have access to enough to get everyone. Thing is, the void suits don't offer that much in the way of protection, and when they're pierced by, say, bolter fire, the claws of terrifying Xenos, the explosions of psychic power, can I go on, or any of those things exposes you to the void of space, which can be bad.
Yeah, but none of those things are going to happen.
Not at all. You guys, come on. You guys are the luck of the Irish.
There you go. The luck of the Aquade.
Look at the Aquade.
We bank on that luck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see here.
Look, we're not expecting any orcs, right?
Should be no. I mean, orcs,
Tyranids, maybe.
Necrons, Gene Stealers. What else could be on here?
What kind of shit is this?
Yeah, really. Exactly. I got a glove. All right, so here it is. If suddenly exposed to the vacuum, a character may survive unharmed for a number of rounds equal to his toughness bonus. Unless he has an oxygen source, he will also begin to suffer from the effects of suffocation. At the end of each round, he suffers 1d10 plus 3 explosive damage from depressurization. Every round, you can have... We were looking at this last time, and I didn't find anything for it. You can make a tech use roll at plus 30 to patch yourself up. So if you spend your main action doing that, you can try and patch it up and prevent that. Every single one of the void suits would be equipped with that. I just don't see them auto-sealing because you're not Space Marines.
Yeah, but none of us have tech use, so that doesn't matter.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be probably like 30 plus 5, I guess. So, yeah. All right. Then, so that is what will happen. If you do get shot, you will be exposed to the void or to the vacuum of space. So be sure to patch yourself up pretty quickly, because remember, in space, nobody can hear you scream.
I'll point out the tech use is an advanced skill.
Yeah, so we've got a 0 in it.
I think it's I'm not sure. Do we get to roll even though it's advanced?
I would let you roll with a flat 30 then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It'll be fine. Off we go.
Okay. All right. So you are bringing 20 armsmen with you. Same guys, the Aquade guards, las guns, and everything.
Yeah.
Any special gear that you guys wish to pick up? Bring
What
with
about
you.
something about like a cutter, a cutting a cutting tool.
Yeah, you could have so some of your you could bring some folks from the from lower level, some of the like not engineers, but the I mean whatever, space welders, I guess.
Yeah, we need something that can cut through a hull if possible.
Sure. You bring a small, like, let's say 5 power source, operating the device. Excuse me. It's probably between 3 and 5 men to operate that. I think. What do you think? That sounds about right. I don't think it's a like one man thing to cut through a spacecraft's hull.
Right. So there's 4 of us, and
let's say 3. You can keep it slim. So it'll be 3 of them, 17 soldiers or armsmen, of which I'm going to assume one in every 5 to 8 is a medic, is based on your last experience.
We have like we're like now training.
Hang on, all
soldiers must be trained in combat medicine.
Getting shot in the head.
Yeah, we took the 17 who all have advanced medical skills,
which I'm sure will be.
No, don't take them all.
It's going to be great for the morale of the ship when they all come back dead. Well, it's not like you guys are all living in a 2-kilometer long can in space where sicknesses and stuff would just shoot through it like a cannon. So then, what? Once you guys are ready, any last thoughts before you head out? Oh gosh, Alessandro, you ready to fly this thing under low power?
Yeah, I mean, as ready as I'm gonna get.
Okay. So you get things set. Let's see if you can pull a wash here and try and get in without really drawing too much attention to yourself. So once again, it's going to be this is a piloting check at +10. Let's get ourselves in the cockpit of this gun cutter here. Let me find out. I think I've got an illustration I can drag and drop in here too. Let's see here. Where is it? Oops, not 2. Nice. Look at that. Attaboy Kev from like 6 months ago. Way to name your images.
Nice.
So, that is what is going to be hurtling through the void and weaving back and forth between these rocks. So, first things first is, if you are going to run on low power, once again, Alessandro, that is a piloting check at +10.
So I put +10 in?
You put +10, and then let's see here. Let me see if hold on. I got the maneuverability of Captain. That's great the way you're doing that too, Sean, just so I know that you're using it.
Yeah.
So
thank you for that.
Okay, so then I would leave it level.
Yeah, I'm just checking the maneuverability. Maneuverability of the gun cutter is +0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
And you get 10 from me, Alessandro.
Yeah,
So,
which balances out with the penalty.
Okay.
No, there's no
Very
penalty. It's +10.
Oh.
Yeah. Like this isn't the actual maneuvering yet. This is just keeping the power down, using only thrusters to maneuver, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So +20. How's that looking?
It should be good. My flying is 45, so yeah. No
Nice. Okay, 65.
Nice.
All right, so you've got this thing. This thing lifts up from the hangar. It jets forward, and then as soon as it drifts out of the artificial gravity of the hangar bay, you cut the engine, so it just drifts forward, and you're maneuvering this thing along. Regis and Captain Aquade, in comparison to the roar of the engines on this thing as it was going down the last time and then taking off the last time, this is unnervingly quiet. You're only hearing the odd kind of creaking of the superstructure of the gun cutter as Alessandro's using the the jets and such to maneuver this thing. Now, see if you can maneuver this pig through the field. Here's something interesting. So this is a challenging test, so no modifier to your piloting. But because of the low power, you're going to get -10 to this. If you decide to use the guns to clear out a path, which you're probably going to draw some attention, it grants you +30.
No, I don't think we would do it.
Okay. So then this would be, you have Captain Aquate assisting you, and you are at the stick. So this would give you, and there's no modifier. So effectively, if Captain Aquate is assisting you with this, this will be a flat roll.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, flat roll. Yeah.
Oh!
Off by 5. So let's get your reroll in first.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Yes.
Oh. Jeff, tell us what it
Isn't that
looks
a good
like as you
trait?
navigate this thing through and
Yeah,
get
I
down.
think like he starts sweating for a second, and then he's like, maybe he like he's got these like different gloves that he puts on. He takes off the sort of like void suit gloves, and he puts on these sort of piloting gloves that he's got that have like a lot more dexterity in his fingers, and so he.
And I'm sure, speaking of hands, the hand of Quinili on your shoulder. I'm
Oh, that
sure.
helps for sure.
It's like an overly handsy coach.
Totally.
and the clapping is too hard, like that smacking of "You've got this." Wow.
Okay. So then, you drift this thing down, and again, like you would think you were one of the tumbling wrecks that is making your way through this, tumbling through space. Not only is it incredibly well hidden, you avoid any kind of collisions with any of the wreckage or stones that are in the way. Stones is not doing them justice, like quarter-mile long, rocks. That's probably a more accurate descriptor. Now, as you're getting in closer, I imagine that Captain Aquarius seems that he was assisting you. Regis, where are you while all this is happening? You can see as you're getting in closer, your view keeps being obstructed because Alessandro will make the thing tumble over backwards, or something drifts in the way. But what is Regis trying to do right now?
Oh, at this point, I think he'll have his white knuckle on and just be glad to get off this cutter.
Okay. Yeah. No kidding. It's really quite close that he gets to certain things. So as you drift above what you can see, it takes you a little bit of time to get in there, but what you find is that there are, it's as you say, now that you're getting closer, it's as you say, Regis, that this is almost like a space Hulk in the forming, because in addition to the ones drifting around, there are a couple vessels, ancient from their make. Some you can identify the species, some you cannot, that have embedded themselves in here. But the thing that draws your attention is the corroded prow of an Imperial vessel looming over the piles of junk with a large fissure in the hull on the side. The bulk of this is concealed within the asteroid, assuming the size of this thing matches what the typical configurations are for Imperial vessels. This must be an enormous vessel. And it seems as if there is a huge hole in its hull, which should make for easy entrance on foot. What is your scrutinize, Regis?
My scrutinize is a stunning 24.
Oh, that high. So, apart from the obvious fact that these things were at some time built by some sentient hand, there is no other sign of life on this entire asteroid. What do you guys do?
Where are they hiding? Deep inside one. And where is their ship?
Well, we can ingress,
I don't know,
eh?
sir. Yes. It's creepy, but let us make our move.
Where do you wish to land? Amongst the trash? Near the vessel? Are you concealing the ship against one of the other wrecked vessels?
That would seem prudent, I think.
Yeah, stealthy. Try and maintain some amount of stealth.
How many people do we leave aboard, you think?
I think Regis has his fingers white-knuckled as thing pinwheels back another direction. Perhaps you should land first, then worry about that.
I mean, you probably just need to leave the ship's crew, right? The gunners and the pilot.
Very good.
Yeah, you got Alessandro. Oh, actually, there's a co-pilot on here. So, Alessandro, you'll get another +10 from them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Alessandro, put us down by those wrecks.
Yes.
All right.
Got it, sir.
So then, would you, let's hear, Alessandro, this is going to be another pilot check. You've got +10 from Captain Aquare's steady hand. A little moist, but steady. You also get +10 from your co-pilot.
Okay.
And I think then a -10 because of the low power state.
Stealthiness.
Yeah, so +10 to yours, so I guess 55? Is that right?
Yep.
Look at that. Oh, so it goes down and silently, set down. There's a bit of dust and whatnot. The vessel that you're set next to, it definitely would not be a humanoid, or you can't conceive of what what species might be here. This thing seems to be almost like cysts of some unknown material that have been grown together and then shattered over the intervening centuries or millennia, or how long this thing has been drifting out here. Dead, nonetheless. So, with that down, then there is the question: who are you bringing with you?
Should we leave one soldier here as a guard? And then the ship's crew? The
pilot,
co-pilot, the gunner?
Co-pilot,
Did you bring an astropath down with you? I don't remember you saying that, but it is something we discussed before. I can't imagine.
They're the psychics?
They are the psychics who can communicate. So,
how many do we have aboard, approximately?
They say it's an astropath acquired, so I think it's probably like a 10. But like every single one of those is an irreplaceable asset. So you need to be careful with if you are bringing them down, that is the way you get back home, right? That is the only way you can communicate over vast distances.
Right.
I might mutter, my father would kill me if I lost one of the...
So it could be why. I mean, like, I don't remember you mentioning one when we were doing, building out the crew, but your character would have, like, if not you guys, then someone else would, Thasivus would have said, we don't know what's awaiting us down there. Apart from apparently another psychic, and when we're down there, we will have no Vox communication with the ship. So the only way to communicate back would be the astropath.
It makes sense.
Let's take an astropath, and I'll keep care of him from far in the rear.
That sounds good.
Not a bad plan. Trying to remember if
They kind of work for you on the ship. Is that correct? Like they're part of
we'll just be very far from
Regis?
the action. Yes.
Yeah, they're members of the crew. It's every ship has to have, because it's the only way you communicate over vast distances.
But they're different from me. So a navigator and an astropath are very
Definitely,
different.
yeah, totally different skill, and different from sanctioned psychers as well. Like they're psychics in 40K come in like a very wide variety. Apart, even setting aside the what do you call it? The corrupted by the warp and those who are not. Let's use this. This is the only one I've got right now, and I think this is from actually the new game. So there's your astropath.
Which looks very good, by the way.
It looks pretty fucking cool. Yeah. Guys, what is the name of our astropath that we're bringing down? That is, I will say, one of the, I think, the very best things about Star Trek Adventures is the ease with which and the way that they encourage you to just keep adding members to the crew. You know, that's for a game that is going to be like this, where it's just got a huge, sprawling crew. It's a clever thing to do.
Just have a name for us in a second.
Okay.
Bear with me one moment.
Yeah, you almost have to look these ones up because they're not just like Jeff and Sean.
Yeah, and there's like 3 different major varieties, even among humankind.
Right.
From it, so.
Here we go.
Look at your full crew now, though, guys. My goodness. We're missing Dave. Birthday boy Dave. From earlier this week. Today, it's birthday boy James. Hell's a fork. I love it. Can we change it to frock?
Heavens. Yeah, because otherwise it's heaven's a knife. But
yeah.
or how about Greta von Huss?
Greta von Huss, you want that?
Halula Guttershank.
Some of these are.
Oh no, I think that this is the one. This is the one.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Only because I'm going to make a fork joke at some point if it's fork.
It's almost got a Warhammer Fantasy feel at that point.
Definitely, it's like Hell's a Fork. Hell's a Fork is the name of like a halfling cook.
Right.
It's on the road to a little thing between the Empire and what is it, Bretonia? Okay.
Oh yeah.
And can you guys see this? You can. Ome de Bastal. I love it. Okay. So she is coming with you. So you have a way of contacting with the ship. Which is great. All right. So then, with your crew and with Octus down, you guys can picture you're all getting yourself, getting the void suits on. Everyone's checking their gear. How are you planning on approaching the righteous path?
So there's a big hole, you said.
Yep. There's a big hole that you can easily get into. You could take your cutting gear and whatnot, and they're not non-combatants, but like they're not trained armsmen. That crew could come with you to cut into things. You may run into issues as you get into the hull too.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's have some stealth up to the hole and take a look.
Okay. Is there anyone who you wish? So this is, I was actually reading about this because we were kind of talking about what skill we use for this. Concealment is what you use for hiding. It isn't clear in the rules as written, and move silent doesn't really apply here because it's the fucking vacuum of space, so there's no sound. So you only need to roll concealment. Who is feeling good about their concealment?
41.
What is Thasavas, or is that is it Dave's character is the one who's the best at
Yeah, I don't think I have any concealment at all.
So your crew would have a 30.
Thasavas is 22.
So Thasavas is more of a direct approach type.
Regius, you're.
There is a lot of stuff to hide around. It's just, so you're going to get a bonus beyond whatever the base score is.
Well, we'll send up some of the scouts, the crew.
Okay. Tell me about what the plan is, because you can't contact them. What happens if, what's the contingency if they don't come back? Are they supposed to, they get fired upon to come back? I don't know if you've seen that. It's one of those terrifying scenes from, what's it called? What's that Brad Pitt movie about dads? The space one?
Oh, Ad Astra? No?
Oh, yeah, Ad Astra, right. It's called Dad Astra. Yeah, there's that scene in total silence when they're getting fired upon, where you don't know. That's what this situation would be like as well, where they're not going to know, unless they see beams or whatever else, they're not going to know they're getting shot until they feel it or see it. So how do you plan that? Are they going up for 10 minutes and then coming back? And then if they don't
have Vox communication?
I think Patton used that line
because of the jamming. There's not even Vox communication.
What's that, James?
Well, Patton used the line of get in your Jeep, go down that road until you get blown up, and then come back and report to me.
Let's see.
What do you think, Captain?
Callously laughing at the absolute, complete, not disrespect, but placing zero value on his troops' lives. Totally in keeping with the absolute piece of shit that Patton was. He was a guy who slapped someone for having PTSD as well.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And his comment about whether they needed food or fuel, and it's like, well, my men can eat their belts, but my tank's got to have gas.
Yeah. Absolute piece of shit. So wait, but this is the grim darkness of the far future. What are you thinking?
I mean, here we expect that.
And what was it too?
It's a bit of a wuss, the guy, really. It's
everybody, we talked about this before, but it's worth just reiterating, because it's late on a Friday, it's fucking St. Patty's Day and whatnot. You don't need to feel like you're the only one to make the decision as the player. You can feel free to have everybody chip in and whatnot to it. The buck doesn't always need to stop with you. So if you want to, if you want to delegate that stuff or however else, don't feel like it always needs to be your responsibility for making the decision. You absolutely can do that too, but I don't want you to feel like you have to be constantly everyone looking back to you to, well, what do you do now? And then you take the blame or credit for however things go right or wrong.
Maybe we should just go with them, Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just go together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll get beaten up piecemeal.
We
I think
died
they
together.
ask you that, what should we do if we're engaged? And you're thinking about it, and then we're
all
just
die
I
together.
think we just all go. Yeah.
So let's think
go.
about this in fiction. What is going through? Give us a little insight into what's going on in Captain Aquare's mind right now.
Nee.
Well, we're so close. So this is.
He hears it in his mind. Me.
We're so close. I mean, this is it. This is, we would have liked to have beaten them here, but we didn't. So it's going to be, this is Rogue Trader stuff. This is right in the meat of it. So in we go once more into the breach.
Okay. So everyone suits up, get going. And from up front, you can hear Alessander, a sound you recognize. Someone has washed an active scan over this area.
They're scanning, sir.
And with the powerful sensors that are on here, that could mean that someone's scanning directly over here. Could be that someone is scanning the entire area and deciding fuck it, we're gonna, open all the augury arrays and scan for everything, ship included, because it is only 300 meters off.
I'll have the astropath. That's the name.
Astropath. Yeah.
I'll have the see if the astropath can contact the ship and see what they make of it.
Yeah. Okay. See here.
Right, that's why we brought him. Sorry, her.
I mean, we might as well use her
It's the haircut.
before she dies.
Exactly.
And I'd like to point out our astropaths' uniforms are blue.
Actually, I can adjust that in Photoshop for you. No problem. I had one of the illustrations we're using for the charity session tomorrow. One of the characters was dressed in the Imperial purple. And I'm like, I can't really use that, so to Photoshop. A couple quick little drops on there, and then we had a nice new color. Okay, so I'm just going to the astropaths thing. Again, I do apologize. I was going to get all this stuff loaded before, but it's just been last 2 weeks have been doozies. Okay.
Is no problem.
Let's see here. I mean, it really wouldn't be a session of Rogue Trader if we didn't spend a good 10% of the session looking shit up.
Right.
It's a
I was
complex
busy
game.
training. Sorry?
I just said it's a complicated game.
It is. There are a lot of moving bits in it too, and I do feel like we are really getting to know the game much better too.
Yeah.
All the nice little nooks and crannies in here. Love it. Okay, so they can send and receive. What is her psi rating? Blurry symbols. They get the astropathic telepathy for free. The downside is you have to have your soul bound to the Emperor. So, upsides, downsides.
Yep.
So I'm guessing the opposite side of this coin is that we brought one of the astropath, the counterpart to the bridge.
Yeah, so this is you brought effectively the most powerful one on the ship, or at least at this point. She can only send and receive verbal communications at this tier. So she can communicate. She will need to make a don't worry, just tapping her brain into the warp.
Because that can never go wrong.
Yeah. There's a lot of illustrations of psychics in 40K with shit flaring out of their eyes. So she steps outside and has a clear shot to it. She gets plus 10%. And we'll set her score at probably a 50. So that'll be a 60% chance here. You guys want to give us, who would like to give us a check for astral telepathy?
Regius or James?
Yeah, I was going to say, James, you're due for some magic here after those 99s.
Astral check. Okay.
So 60% chance here. And she has fate points as well. Here we go. Come on. Now, what? Oh, you rolled a space. That is a good shell game, though.
Tricky.
That is a great trick, by the way.
That is a good trick. That's a birthday trick, right
really.
there.
Sorry, what's that? What am I doing? Oh, it should be one.
1D100. You're putting one space D100.
Jeff, we got to remember that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. On a dopier day, I would have completely missed that.
See, the problem, James,
by one.
is don't have it be a 1. Do it with like a 7 or something.
Yeah, roll 7.
She's got a fate point, so she could re-roll that.
Fate point.
Yeah.
And she's clearly a real member of the crew.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome aboard, Omid. So she is out there and she's trying to reach contact, and for whatever reason, she just eventually comes back in because you will need to be able to communicate in person, or puts the helmets together. That trick, and says, "What do you call it? I can't find them. I cannot contact them."
She puts her helmet to mine to report her failure.
Well, see, Captain, if you had told her that you were going to support her in that first one, that first roll would have been a success.
Yeah, she
I
was
don't
just
want
feeling
to
a
point
bit.
fingers here, but I mean, failure seems to roll down from the top. So
Fair enough.
now, let me ask you this: would the captain have gone out there knowing what we know mechanically what's going on, but I think that reflects his, jokes aside, his support of his crew.
He's busy. It's fine. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah.
Okay. So she comes back in, so she cannot contact the things. But this is, it is not a, it is not a guaranteed thing. So the fact that she cannot contact them is not something that is terribly unusual. Sometimes it just takes some time. The warp can be an unpredictable thing.
Yeah.
So.
Do we know, with a scan like that, do we know that so it doesn't have to be a ship, but what could it be? Because it couldn't be the party, could it? Like the party that was.
Oh, your ship could have put a scan out too.
So ships could, but like an away team couldn't do that, right? An away team.
No, not the level of no. Yeah. That kind of equipment. You may remember, like, one of the things that was damaged when you guys were traveling one time was that massive exterior Auspex array that was damaged. That's the kind of like a giant version of the dish on the Millennium Falcon. Yep. That's the kind of scale of thing that would need to react. And so you've also got the shorter range things. Another kind of small benefit from that jammer is that it might interfere with the smaller, like handheld kind of Auspex units. So she cannot be in contact, but we know it's someone scanned. Does that change our plans? Asks Thassavis.
Does that tell us that the jam failed? Would that give us that information?
Not necessarily. Someone may have activated the scanners to try and figure out what's causing the jam.
Okay.
Right.
We just head in, eh?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think we need to leave our ship to handle that. We're here. We must see what our fates have brought us, Captain.
Okay.
Yep.
Then, with your crew all together, while you can still hear one another, they all start beating their chests. Aquare! And
Aquare!
We will find out what they discover in 2 weeks' time. So, for those, let's bring the entire crew over to surprise Dave for next time. Let me bring it back over to...
I love that we're slowly building up our crew. Maybe some of them will actually live through one of these missions, and then they can become like a recurring character.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, your support crew is kind of disposable. But all right, so then for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 8 of the Into the Maw adventure. As is always the case, if you have any also guys, 500 reward points, so you get another 500 XP.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, there's a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server. We got a channel there dedicated to Warhammer games in general, 40K and fantasy, and that's probably going to be pretty active in the next little bit because we got our new 40K game releasing soon, and I've been dabbling away at Warhammer Fantasy 4th Edition once again, although I did realize Warhammer Fantasy 1st Edition is the only edition of that game I have not run on the channel. So if we want to do a full run of the entire editions, we run that one, and we've got every Warhammer game. Because we have run Zweihander as well, which is the closest, the kind of Pathfinder equivalent of Warhammer. In addition, there is a link down below to, I mentioned at the outset of the session that there are links down below to Owen K. Stevens' Patreon and Coffee. If you want to help him out during his treatment with his medical expenses or the expenses of just associated with living through cancer treatment, you can find ways to donate over there. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have a great selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including, I know they have copies of a Rogue Trader in still. If they don't have what's in, if they don't have in what you're looking for, you can often put it on a want list, and they will send you an email when it comes in. Pricing is commensurate with demand, and often they will adjust pricing when things change. I mentioned a couple of times over the last week, a couple of weeks, how I got one of the last Ars Magica 5th edition books that I wanted for my collection. It was priced higher than I was willing to pay at one point, but it came down to less than cover price when I picked it up. So I was really happy with that. And one of my want list items, I finally got my copy of the Mongoose Publishing Pocket Edition of their Conan RPG. So I'm very happy about that too. Who doesn't want to have a paperback Conan, but also be able to play an RPG with it? I mean, like, really? This is, what more could you ask for? If you do make a purchase through their website of $10 or more US, then be sure to enter the code THEMUSE, or check back on one of our more recent videos if the discount code has changed, and you'll save yourself 10% on your purchase. There's also some pretty great deals for shipping in the continental United States. Sadly, those of us foreigners in Canada do not get to enjoy that, but we do get to enjoy the discount. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That's the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really amazing organization, active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including ongoing relief efforts at the time of recording in Ukraine and the surrounding countries. All donations through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman, just goes to benefit the kids who benefit from their services. They also, we have two small ways of saying thank you for the generous donors. One of those is that if you have donated $10 or more since January of 2023, then you will have an opportunity to vote on the elements of our charity sessions we're playing for the first half of the year. This year, we're playing something called the Year of Ill Omens 6-part campaign throughout the year. We've already played the first session of it. We have a second session tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be... I have put more work into this one session than is reasonable for anything. Easily, this is a like 4-to-1 ratio for how much time was put into how much time we're playing. So I really do hope everyone enjoys the session. But we're playing, the donors have voted to help shape what we're going to play. We're playing a session set in the first century of the Roman Empire. We are using a custom version of the Zweihander or Blackbird's system to play a game called Gladius that I have come up with. And what do we have? Oh, and we're playing members of a legion, the third Celtic Legion, I believe. Third Gallic Legion, I think. Is it Gallic or Celtic? Gallic, I think.
Gallic.
Yeah, the third Gallic Legion, the Fighting Third. All those elements were things that the the donors who donated $10 or more voted on and helped shape for it. That'll be the same thing. They also voted on yesterday the connections between our last session and this one. Same thing is going to happen for the next one. So if you donate $10, you'll have a chance to vote on the next charity session as well. And then starting in June, or end of June, beginning of July, we'll be having the next 3 sessions as well. And anyone who donates from July 1st afterwards will have a chance to vote on all of those. If you donate $25 or more, every $25 gives you one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. The prizes include a chainmail dice bag, a chance to play with us, and 2 copies of the Degenesis Rebirth Edition set, which are now out of print. And thanks to James's very smart suggestion, we're going to be playing a game with that sometime between now and June, so we will be able to show you what you're going to potentially win on it. There's also some stuff in the Dungeon Musings Red Bubble Shop and some other great prizes. So lots of great prizes. And every $25 donated gives you one chance to win one of those. You also get a chance to vote on that half year of sessions. And most importantly, all donations go directly to the kids who benefit from the services provided by SOS Children's Villages International. So you get a chance to win some cool gaming stuff, a chance to shape what we're playing on the channel, and to help out some kids who could really use some help. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our explorers. So Jeffrey, Sean, and James, thank you so much for playing tonight, guys. I do look up a lot of stuff, but man, I enjoy this game. It's a really fun, really well done game. I look forward to seeing whether at some point the other ones, have similar, like every nook and cranny we go into for the rules finds another kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. We could use that. Like the power, the thing I'd mentioned to you, Jeff, about the running low on power. It's a fucking sidebar in the Starship combat section.
Huh.
Yeah,
totally. Awesome stuff. So,
nice.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a high bar for the new game coming out.
True.
Most definitely.
But Cubicle 7 are pretty safe hands.
Cubicle 7 is like, I haven't run it yet, but like, I haven't run either Wrath and Glory or Age of Sigmar. What is it? Soulbound. Soulbound looks super fucking cool. Looks really fun. Warhammer 4th edition just goes from strength to strength. I really love that. Their version of that. I'm confident that they're gonna take lessons from what was in the previous versions and apply it the way they did with Warhammer 4th edition. So. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to start playing that instead of this. It just means we need to find more time in the week to play a second Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's the answer here.
Right.
Then, for those listening at home, once again, thank you so much for joining us for session 8 of Into the Maw. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time in the Coronis Expanse on this random asteroid with our heroes out of touch with their ship and ready to head into a long dead ship. I said ship twice in the outro. But until we see you again, we hope that we gave you a couple of hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes are finding as they inch closer to that final riches and goal. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.